Get your films on with the Blerds.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, woke, fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blerds.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolyte.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned.
Ridiculous.
Here's Brandon and Jeff.
Hello, and welcome to episode 132 of the Film Blerds. My name is Brandon Norwood, a.k.a. Hero Protagonist, moving back in time, saving battered wives and their kids, and listening to Travis Scott while taking down Russian oligarchs and stealing their money, a.k.a. the true father of Joe, Kanye, and Drake's kids. I got United Nations in my house, but that's all right because those checks are cashing. Them child support checks are $1 million a pop. AKA Papi Chulo. Still eating all your Jello and putting my finger up your girl's butt. How do you like that? AKA the Glizzy King. Yo, shout out to Jeff for holding me down on the chili glizzy. I forgot to get cheese on it. You can't have a glizzy without chili and cheese, and I fucked up. I forgot to get the fucking cheese.
It's all right. It's Gray's papaya. No matter how you get it, it's good.
AKA Mr. Krusty. I don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to. Oh, let's leave because I miss you, baby. And I just want animal crackers in that gooch. AKA the lethal protector, aka it's Morbin time, aka Ezekiel Sims. My ADR doesn't have the ADR messed up. My mouth does not match my words. Fuck, man. I am hoping Craven the Hunter gives me another AKA.
Oh man, I think
might get another one from The Last Dance.
Oh,
I'm excited for two more trash cinemas that I'm excited for.
And like, here's the thing: like, I'll let you get back to the AKAs, but like, now that it's about to be the fall, I'm all about shitty cinema. Let's go.
Oh yeah, because we're gonna have to sit through. Not you, but me personally, I'm gonna have to sit through a lot of awards movies, and there's a lot I'm looking forward to, and a lot I'm just like, oh boy, oh man, I gotta sit through this shit. But we got Venom and Craven the Hunter to balance that all out. Oh yeah, Sony. Y'all fucking up sending us press materials to promote The Last Dance. Like, bro, look, I don't care. Yo, listen, y'all highlighted in your fucking promotions to tell our listeners that 40 minutes of Venom is in IMAX. And I'm like, all right, well, then give us an IMAX screening. But I know you're not. I know we're probably going to see it in the Sony screening room or the jankiest theater possible.
Actually, I want to go back to that Sony screening room just so I can laugh as hard as we laughed during Madam Web. Because there's something about like looking a Sony rep in the eye and just like, no, you fucked up. That's going to someone's house and eating their fucking cookies.
Man, we all walked out of that motherfucker. I asked David Sims, I was like, were you in there? He's like, yeah. I was like, holy shit. He's like, yeah, exactly. We walked out and I just see all the people waiting for the next press screening, and I was just like, oh man, another round of victims. AKA I want a Subaru Outback because I don't want mad strippers in the back giving shape ups. AKA my biggest pet peeve is sports because I don't like seeing grown men sweat on each other. AKA Rough McGruff, blow out your kneecaps to steal your drug money. AKA these nuts. AKA B Wood, the Mob Deeb. Call me your Messiah. And I'm joined here today, as always, with my great friend and co-host.
Yo. This is Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. Uncle Jeffrey, a.k.a. J. Otis Dynamite, a.k.a. Protarian Jeff, a.k.a. Revengement Button, a.k.a. He Who Remains, a.k.a. Petty Ruxpin, aka Jobu Tupaki, aka Little Tom, aka this motherfucker, aka to be determined, the Black Giovanni Ribisi, Chocolate Tarantino, Ebony Spielberg. Let's go.
All right. I think I had some news, but I completely forgot about that shit, to be honest with you.
Wait, what, are we talking about how Roland Emmerich is doing?
Oh, all right. Yeah, we can talk about that shit. Yeah, and who's writing it? Because I saw who was writing it, and I'm like, yo, this shit is going to fail hard. But yeah, go ahead and announce it, Jeff.
So Roland Emmerich of Independence Day 2012 and what's the most recent shit he did?
He did Moonfall. Anonymous, the William Shakespeare movie.
Oh, what?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I went to the screening for that.
All right, yeah. So Roland Emmerich, master of disaster, master of CGI, shitty popcorn movies, is doing a 3-season interpretation, redo of the classic movie Lawrence of Arabia.
In my opinion, probably the best movie ever made. Like, to me, the Mount Rushmore movies is like this. Night of the Hunter, Sweet Smell of Success. You know what I'm saying? Lord of the Rings.
Citizen Kane on there.
What?
You know?
Yeah, Citizen Kane. Yeah, well, of course. Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But like, everything you love has come from Lawrence of Arabia. Like Star Wars, fucking Dune, fucking Lord of the Rings. Like, all this shit was inspired by this shit.
Like, it was the first epic.
Yeah, bro. Right?
It was the first epic. And anyone else, if Denis did this, or if
Nolan, Spielberg,
right,
Scorsese, like if even Greta Gerwig, I'd be like, might probably fail, but I'm interested to see what you're gonna do. Like, there's certain things that shouldn't be touched, and there's a reason why nobody's touching this. And I'm like, all right, so Roland Emmerich, whoa, okay, yeah, nigga, you're not. Look, you're a good director because Independence Day is still a masterpiece, but like, nigga, that's like really your only good movie.
I can't think. Like, I've
Stargate
enjoyed.
Sucks. Like, the shows are better. The shows are better.
Like, I've always enjoyed Roland Emmerich's films just because I know they're not going to be great. I know I'm going to get some CGI spectacle. I'm going to see some ridiculous, like, disaster. It's disaster porn, but like nuance, like subtlety, artistry. Like, no, not you.
The scriptwriter on this motherfucker is the dude who wrote Bohemian Rhapsody.
Enough said.
So,
Enough said.
I was just like, wait, let me bring it back, because I want to see who's funding this even. Who
drug money?
Yeah, like, I don't even know who's funding this. We can't even say. I'm trying to see who. I'm really trying to find out. It's going to be called Lawrence in Arabia instead of Lawrence of Arabia. It has, Emmerich says in Arabia rather than of Arabia because he says it has a little bit more characters than the original movie. And I'm like, bro, the original movie's 4 hours. I don't think it needs any more fucking characters. And honestly, if I want a retelling of this, I'll just read the motherfucker's autobiography. Like, T.S. Lawrence co-wrote his own autobiography. Like, he had a writer with him. Them too. It's like one of the most best-selling books of all time.
And here's the thing, right? We can barely get motherfuckers to watch a season of something, right?
Right.
Much less you coming in with 3 seasons of a desert epic, like,
I would also say the there's a lot of us, and this includes me, there's a lot of us who still want to see Lawrence of Arabia in a 70 millimeter print. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like a nice pristine 70 millimeter print in a theater. Like, that's the one thing I will go back to the Alamo Drafthouse for, is for a 70 millimeter print. I will drop everything. I will fucking ditch work. If we got to record the podcast, I'd be like, oh, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm going to see Lawrence of Arabia. And I only want to see it there is because I know, A, I'll be comfortable, and B, I could get food and coffee to me.
Right. And also, like, I won't have to worry about any bullshit, like someone pulling out their cell phone or anything like that. Which, what was the last movie we saw, last screening?
Wild Robot.
Wild Robot. No, okay. So the one before that, Transformers. This motherfucker was in the back of the theater pulling out his phone, checking his Twitter every fucking 5 minutes. I was like, dude.
Who was it?
Man, I don't know. Some tall white dude. Old white dude.
You know, and this is why I hate being with critics for animated films, because, like, they don't take them seriously. And even if they do, they're doing that shit. Because there's always, when you miss some animated films that I go to, there's always people like that there. And I'm just like, don't go, bro. Like, you know what it is. Don't fucking go. Like, the only animated film that had a good audience, and there was mad kids in there running around screaming, but eventually even they stopped, was Inside Out 2.
Yeah. An animated movie is still a movie. And if you're a critic, if you're anybody, respect it like you would respect anything else.
Yeah, right.
Because
Y'all treat Miyazaki like he's the holy grail. And don't get me wrong, nigga is, but, like, come on, bro. There's more than just Miyazaki. Like, no offense. Like, I like The Boy and the Heron, but, like, Spider-Verse should have won last year.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. But yeah, so a 3-season Lawrence of Arabia that no one asked for, directed by a guy who should not be directing it. So
yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't know. Like, this shit is just
it's crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like, his show, Those About to Die, I've heard nothing but terrible things about. Like, I was gonna watch it because I was like, oh, I got Peacock, might as well use it. And
like, here's the thing, I'm hearing mixed shit about For Those Who Are About to Die. Honestly, like, people are real divided on it. Like, the people I've talked to, I still haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna wait until Gladiator 2 before I get back into that sword and sandals thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what people kept saying. They're just like, yo, you guys dropped this 6 months before Gladiator 2, and that's probably why it came and went, because, you know, everybody's kind of waiting to see what that is first before they dive into something long form, because they already said Gladiator 2 is about 10 minutes shorter than the first one. Like, they have a running time already, because the first one was 2.5.
Okay. Yeah, but, like, it's one of those things where you got to feed into the synergy, right? Because after Twisters, I started watching nothing but tornado movies and tornado shows, right? The same thing with Gladiator 2. As soon as Gladiator 2 comes out, yeah, I'll go back and I'll watch Spartacus again, or I'll watch this For Those Who Are About to Die. But, like, right now, it's not on my radar.
Yeah, and I don't even want to fucking watch. What was the one you just said? Not Those About
Spartacus.
Yeah, I don't want to watch that shit again.
Right. So shout out to the dude on the train that we had a conversation with. I think we should start doing a segment, like, when people start talking to us on the train,
we record it
about shit. We record that shit, because, like, so coming back from screenings, Brandon and I, we just start talking about movies and shit like that, and inevitably someone wants to jump in and start talking, and we started talking to this dude for, like, the whole entire train ride, and it's good to get another opinion, right? And, like, especially from black people, right, or, like, minorities.
Sometimes
we don't really. Yeah, sometimes. But this dude, he swore up and down that he loves Spartacus, and I straight up called him like, yeah, I enjoyed it, but like, let's call it what it is. It's nothing but dick and sandals.
Yeah, and I said it literally is a 300 ripoff, and homie kind of got upset that I called it a 300 ripoff, and I'm like, bro,
But it was.
the whole aesthetic and look of the show is lifted directly from 300.
100%. And I can't get mad at Stars for doing that, right? But like, let's call it what it is.
And like, no offense, like 300's a dumbass movie. I enjoy it, but it's a dumbass movie. They somehow made it dumber. Like the only reason Spartacus gets by is on the plot twist.
Right.
That's it.
And the titties, and like the nudity. Like let's face it. Like you knew every episode something or someone was getting fucked.
Yeah. It's like Game of Thrones. Like for the more graphic rape scenes, they hired porn stars to do it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because there was one chick who I was just like, Jesus Christ, those tits are unnecessarily big, and I googled her. She was a porn star. Because I was like, who is that? It was the episode where the Night's Watch invades Crater's Keep and rapes all of his already raped women.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, you remember that episode?
Yeah.
And then Jon Snow and the rest of the Night's Watch, they show up and they kill the dudes, and they're just like, hey, we killed all the rapists, so like if you want to live with us, you can. And then the girls just spit on the ground. They're like, we've been subjugated to men all this time. We're gonna make our own way, and we never see them again. I was like, oh, they must have turned into White Walkers because them niggas are right around the corner.
Yeah. So like, so let's keep it 100. Game of Thrones was nothing but rape and dragons, and Spartacus is nothing but dick and sandals.
Yeah, bro. And don't get me wrong, like Spartacus does have some rape in there, but
oh yeah.
But not like a Game of Thrones. Like Game of Thrones is just Jesus. Here's some news. So, Wolves premiered at Toronto, right? And it got a mixed reception. Apple Apple has said they're no longer going to do big theatrical rollouts for movies anymore. And the last big theatrical rollout's going to be F1, which makes sense because that movie cost $300 fucking million, so you got no choice.
Right.
Fly Me to the Moon is the movie that killed theatrical releases for Apple.
I mean, they should have known.
Yeah,
that.
bro. Like
that's.
And no offense to Rose Gilroy, but if I read that script, I would have been like, yeah, we could make this for like 50. If you can't make it for 50 or less, then we're not making it. Like the fact they spent like 110 million on that, I'm like, that's on you.
Right. That was some bad accounting. And that's a shame because I'm going to talk about some Apple TV shit later on in the episode. But like consistently, right? Like I would say 7 out of 10 properties that I see on Apple Plus, I really, really fucking dig. And I appreciate the fact that they were at least trying to do some theatrical shit. Right?
Right. Because, they had a lot of flops. Like, let's be real. Like Napoleon Bricked, Argyle. Yeah. That's another one where I'm like, how you read the script and give that shit $200 million?
I forgot that was Apple.
Yeah. That's still the worst movie I've seen all fucking year. That shit makes me angry.
So their movies suck, but their TV is awesome.
Yeah, man, because Wolves, it's only getting a very limited 1 week run next week. So basically, you have to see it in the Alamo or Regal or one of the 8 IMAX theaters because it was originally supposed to be getting this huge IMAX run, and now they pulled it, and it's only going to play in 8 IMAX theaters, and the closest one near us where we can see it in the tri-state area, so Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, even Connecticut, only place you can see Wolves in IMAX, if that's how you want to see it, is the Tropicana, the IMAX in Atlantic City in the Tropicana.
Nah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's why I said. I was just like, yo, listen, if this was Lawrence of Arabia in IMAX, like next Saturday, I'd be on my way down there driving. I'd be like, yeah, fuck that. I'm seeing this shit in IMAX. But like, man, that theater is uncomfortable.
I've actually never been to the IMAX in Atlantic City because it's fucking Atlantic City.
I went there to moderate a Q&A for Pacific Rim. Saw Tron Legacy there at midnight, and I saw because everywhere else it was sold out. Saw the Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises 70mm IMAX midnight show there. Very uncomfortable seating. They have since got rid of their IMAX 70mm projector, right? So every time there's a IMAX 70mm rollout, they're never part of it, which is a mistake because that's a 6-story screen. It's a nice size screen, 6 stories.
Right.
They only have a digital projector, not even a laser projector. So you can't even. So if you go see a movie there, you're not even gonna get the full experience because they still have the IMAX digital projector instead of what they should have, which is dual laser, because dual laser can do the full 1.43 aspect ratio. And if they get a single laser, then they're only able to do 190, which still is pretty shitty because I'm like, yo, y'all got that big ass 6-story screen. Yeah, bro. I was just like, yeah, man, like whoever runs that IMAX theater down there, I'm like, yo, y'all doing a shit job. And the only reason it's still open is because that's like the only theater in Atlantic City.
Right.
Within a 20-mile radius. Like if you want to go to if you want to see a movie, like you have to go to like either Philly or drive a ways somewhere else.
Yeah, like so. Yeah, I keep on forgetting that there is an actual IMAX and AC. But like I said, like you had specific reasons to go there, but like I'm not seeing a movie in Atlantic City, right? I'm drunk. Like I'm doing something.
Well, one of the reasons.
Yeah. So
listen to this. Apparently Apple, there was 2 guys, studio chiefs at Apple, and they bet wrong. They bet wrong on Fly Me to the Moon because the test screenings were high and they thought they had great summer program and they thought the movie could work because not only the test screenings and counter programming, but Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum could sell the movie.
Yeah, but like, all right, so no, like they could sell that movie in November, possibly December, but not like a summer release, right? And they did no press for it, like they didn't know like a real
barely
marketing for it. Yeah,
I will say that they Blitz, which is Steve McQueen's new movie, that's coming out through Apple too. I just got a press invite for it, and I hope I can make it because I'm not sure if I'm going out of town then.
Right.
But that is also getting a 1-week run in theaters, and I was like, that's a shame. That's a fucking Steve McQueen movie, man, and that's only getting a 1-week run because of Fly Me to the fucking Moon. I was like, that's a shame. And apparently I've heard nothing but great things about it. I heard it has a real big shot of being nominated for Best Picture and Saoirse getting another Best Actress nomination. It's just like Apple, they said the only time they're going to go all in is if they have an event movie. And they're only doing 1 or 2 event movies a year for theaters. So their next big event movie is F1.
Right, which is going to kill. Like I don't even like F1 racing, but I want to see this movie.
So before we move on, I want to say this. I had to Google after we saw that trailer because I keep forgetting to talk about this. I had to Google how they did those in-camera pans on moving cars. This is why the movie cost so fucking much. They built new fucking cameras for this movie, and they built the actual F1 cars so they could mount cameras on it. So that's really Brad Pitt and Denis Idris driving. Meanwhile, the cameraman is also driving, and so the camera operator is remotely fucking focusing and doing pans and tilts up and down as the camera operator also going 80 miles an hour driving the car. I was like, oh yeah, we're pulling some Twilight Zone shit. Like Brad Pitt, they said Brad Pitt and Damon Idris were driving actual F1 cars going fucking 100 miles an hour. And the whole camera crew was right in there because they built cars to do that specific shit, to do pans and tilts up. So I want to see the car with the cameras on it.
And also now you tell me all that shit, like $300 million budget, I bet $100 million of that was insurance.
And the other 100 was developing this shit, bro.
Yeah.
Damn, like the reason, and they asked Joseph Kosinski, they're like, dude, why are you doing all this? He's just like, cuz bro, there's been racing movies, but you don't feel the race. He's like, I want everybody to be right there in there with them. And I wanted, and Brad even said, he's like, yeah, I wanted to race. Like I wanted to race for real. And Damon, he was just like, look, if Brad was going to do it, how could I say no? So they were both really driving them shits. So when you see niggas crash, that's like, for real, bro.
And like after Top Gun Maverick, you can't go back from that, right?
Yeah.
Like he had to step his game up. Yeah. Like, there was no other choice.
I mean, I'll say this for Joseph Kosinski. He came out the gate and his first movie's Tron Legacy, a movie I don't love, but I like. And even then, I'm just like, that is wild that somebody's first movie is a legacy sequel on that big of a scale. And then his next movie is an original concept that stars two of the biggest movie stars on Earth. And still, I don't think too much of the movie, but it is pretty to look at. Like, that motherfucker is a great looking movie.
Yeah, like I keep on wanting to call it Elysium, but it's not.
No, because they came around the same time. It's Oblivion,
right? Right.
And out the gate, my man's was shooting for IMAX because that was shot for IMAX. Tron was shot for IMAX. The movie he did after that about the firefighters, Only the Brave, that was shot for IMAX. Top Gun.
I fuck with Oblivion, right? Like it's not the best movie ever, right? But like if it's on, or if I have a chance to watch it, like I'll put it on because you're right, it is a pretty fucking movie,
right?
And
I'll say this,
especially since it's like only honestly, there's most of the running time is simply just fucking
Tom Cruise in fucking post-apocalyptic Earth. Like it is arresting. Like those images are arresting. Yeah. Like I was like, yo, that movie is more entertaining to watch than After Earth.
I was just thinking the same fucking thing. Like, you know, it's like a good After Earth.
I wouldn't say good, but it's a better After Earth.
Better. Okay.
But yeah, shout out to one of the things I did appreciate is I saw Oblivion on the 8-story IMAX, right? I went with my friend. Bro, I remember, you know when that part where Andrea Riseborough jumps in the pool naked and she skinny dips?
Yes, I do.
Because
I remember that.
Because that picture is so big and so clear, because, you know, it's digital projection, so big. Bro, I swear at one point, this PG-13 movie, I could swear at one point I saw her pussy. I was like, nah, that's straight up Andrea Riseborough's pussy, bro. That's the IMAX experience, baby. You getting details you ain't gonna see nowhere else. So when y'all make fun of me of gassing up that format, I'm like, oh, all right, nigga, I get the details, baby.
So sometimes you see something really special that no one else sees.
Before we move on, I want to say this big of news because I forgot this broke everywhere yesterday. So M. Night's best movie post his flop is Split. Like we all agree on that. Come to find out, James McAvoy, he's out here promoting See No Evil. Come to find out, that nigga's like, yeah, I only had 2 weeks to prepare. And the interviewer's like, fucking why? And they're like, yeah, that was originally supposed to be Joaquin Phoenix. And that was supposed to be the third collaboration between M. Night and Joaquin. And then Joaquin just abruptly left 2 weeks before the movie was to start to shoot. I was like, oh, so this nigga's been pulling this shit for a minute. So remember, we talked about why haven't they made a movie together again? Because, you know, we like their collaborations.
Right.
I guess that's why M. Night was just like, yeah, I'm good on you after that. I would be too.
Yeah, I mean, like 2 weeks before the fucking production is supposed to start. Yeah.
Like, what kind of and he still left Todd Haynes in the, like, they're thinking about suing the motherfucker for him leaving the Todd Haynes film.
What Todd Haynes film were we supposed to do?
You didn't hear about this?
No.
Bro, this was okay. Maybe we didn't talk about this, but last month, Joaquin in August, Joaquin was supposed to do a Todd Haynes film, and it was supposed to be like a romance movie between him and Ramirez. I forget what his first name is from Top Gun. He's in Top Gun Maverick, and he's in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and he's going to be in the new Captain America as the new Falcon. It was supposed to be a gay love story between him and Joaquin Phoenix, and the whole movie got put together and financed because of Joaquin Phoenix. And a week before it's supposed to start shooting, Joaquin's like, yeah, I'm not doing it anymore.
I mean, but that's a Joaquin. I mean, that's a Joaquin move.
And because of this, a lot of studios have said that he is he's uninsurable. And once you become uninsurable in Hollywood, that's not good for your career.
Right. Danny Ramirez.
Like, because a lot of and it's not like, Jeff, it's not like A24 saying this. This is apparently niggas at Universal, Paramount, and Warner Brothers being like, yeah, he's uninsurable. Like, we're not sure we can work with him ever again. All because he wouldn't do this little gay indie drama. But I get it, because all the financing was based on him being in it. Like, they already sold the movie overseas because of his star power.
Right. And like over the last couple of years, I've, dipped my toes into, film financing, and that shit is hard as fuck, especially on an indie level. And so, like, you're banking on that money. Right? The studios are banking on, like, all right, we have everything secured. We're going to start this movie. This is part of how we're going to make our, like, profit for the next year.
Right? Because that if you're a big enough star, sometimes that's all you need to sell a movie overseas. So, like, if a movie flops over here, it doesn't matter because they made all their money overseas. So, like, a $15 million movie that stars Denzel Washington that doesn't do well here, it's okay because they made their money already overseas through pre-sales, foreign pre-sales, because them niggas overseas, they're like, oh, Denzel Washington, already theaters sold out for a couple of weeks.
Right. But if you don't make the movie, then you got to give all that fucking money back or find a way to pay it back. And then that affects your bottom line. That affects every other movie that's going to be made that year.
That's why they're thinking about suing Joaquin. He's in the midst of some really bad shit right now, to the point where he had to lay low for a minute. And so when it came time for Joker at the Toronto International Film Festival, when they did the press conference, because every big movie there has a press conference. One of the journalists rightly asked, like, "Hey, why'd you step away from the Todd Haynes movie?" And he gave a very, very media trained answer instead of the usual Joaquin, passive aggressive bullshit. Right. He's just straight up said, he's like, I don't know what there's to be gained from talking about that right now. I was like, oh, that is your manager and your agent who gave you that, and just like, that's the equivalent of I plead the fifth.
Right, yeah, like he pled the fifth. That's like, let's call it what it is. That's exactly what it was.
And apparently, homie's not going to be doing much press for Joker either because of this shit. And so when Joker started getting its standing ovation, apparently there's video of him walking out halfway through the standing ovation. Yeah, bro. I'm just like, yo, man, I like Joaquin. I think he's a good actor. I always thought he was overrated. Like, I'm not saying he's a bad actor. I just think he's a tad bit overrated. And now this just proves my point. I'm like, y'all are going through all this. Like, it pissed me off when Daniel Day-Lewis did this, but Daniel Day-Lewis is one of the best actors to ever do it.
Right.
Ever. Bro, Joaquin Phoenix and Daniel Day, two different levels of actor.
Yeah, and like I fuck with Joaquin Phoenix when he really steps into a role, when he really puts his foot in it. But honestly, that dude shouldn't have a career.
Oh, no.
Right? Like, he shouldn't get as much burn as he does.
Because, he pulled this shit on with Ridley Scott on Napoleon, where he said, like, yo, I think I'm going to leave this movie. And Ridley's like, bro, what is it? What do you need? And he goes, I want Paul Thomas Anderson to rewrite the script. He's like, all right, fine, fuck it. So Paul Thomas Anderson came in for 2 weeks to rewrite the script, and apparently behind the scenes told Ridley, he's like, yeah, I don't know why the fuck I'm doing this.
I mean, like, good for Joaquin for trying to put some money in his boy's pocket, but like, and this is what I tell people when they start off filmmaking: make sure you really trust your actors, right? Because once you have like a day or two of footage in the can, they kind of own you, right?
And this is why I say, if I ever make it big, I'm not working with huge name actors, just because I don't like the ego. Like, I'm not working with Joaquin. I would never work with Daniel Day, even though he's retired. But I have a feeling that nigga's gonna make another movie eventually.
Yeah, everybody's retired. Yeah.
What's my man's name? Leo. I'll never work with Leonardo DiCaprio.
So I would work with Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And I would work and Brad Pitt, because those motherfuckers are producers.
Well, Brad Pitt,
like, they know
understands. Yeah. Tom Cruise, I saw him on the behind the scenes of The Mummy, and I was just like, maybe. Because he kind of took over that movie. Like, you watch the behind the scenes, and I'm just like, Tom, like, let Alex. You hired Alex Kurtzman. Let him direct, bro. Like, you can't be standing there making the demands, and that's not good for him or the rest of the crew, because now the rest of the crew's not going to take him. Yeah, exactly. So like, Tom Cruise is a maybe. But like, yeah, like big name actors, bro. Like, man, I love Denzel, but like, man, I've sat through Q&As with Denzel, and that motherfucker just doesn't give a fuck. And I'm just like, I can tell, like, I love you, Denzel, but I no.
I mean, like, I would. Just before I forget, here's the biggest news of the week: R.I.P. James Earl Jones.
Yeah, my man's loved his white women.
Is that going on his tombstone? Is that going on his headstone?
I'll tell you what, bro. I was so sad, and then I watched the interview where he was sitting down next to a black woman, and the interviewer straight up asked him his opinion about black women, and the answer he gave, I was just like, oh, all right. I was like, all right, James Earl. Like, yo, I'm not gonna shame you or anything, but damn.
Send me this interview. I got to see this shit.
I got to find it. It was on Instagram.
But yeah, like, going back to what we're talking about, I would work with a big name actor who has also produced,
who understands, like Margot.
Who understands
Margot? Like, there's certain actors who want to be directed because they understand the craft. They're there about their performance and the movie, right? They're true collaborators. Like Margot is definitely one. I feel like Brad Pitt definitely like what's my man's name? Nicholas Hoult. He's definitely a collaborator. Like, the way he talks, and I've seen him, like, there's certain actors where I'm like, okay, yeah, I would work with you because you're open to collaborating. Like, we could sit down, have a conversation. You'd bring something to me that maybe I didn't see as a writer and filmmaker that you did,
Right.
but you're not going to overtake my project.
Even though I would love to be on set to watch Tom Hardy work, I couldn't work with Tom Hardy.
Yeah, man. There's just certain people where I'm just like, I can't trust you. Like Charlize, I would definitely work with her because she seems like she's a collaborator.
Right. Yeah. But yeah,
it's just the ego of some of these actors where I'm just like, man, you understand you're just embodying a character. Like somebody, like hearing Robert De Niro talk about working with Joaquin on the first Joker, like there was a take and he got so stressed out and he's just like, fuck, I fucked up the take, and he just stormed off, and De Niro walked up to him. He's like, bro, you gotta calm the fuck down, bro. We're just making a movie. Like, relax.
Right.
Because even Todd Phillips said like things would get tense on set because Joaquin would walk off set and we didn't know if he would come back or not. Like, we didn't know the movie would get made, if we would finish this movie until the last day of shooting, just because we didn't know at any point if Joaquin would show up or not.
And I get it. You're an artist. You're a performer. I get that. But as we always say on this show, it's just fucking movies.
Right. And that's the one thing even Denzel says. Like, he's like, the one thing I'm tired of people telling me is that making movies is hard. He's like, nah, man, sending your son to war is hard. Fighting in fucking war is hard. Being in a steel mill for 12 hours a day is fucking hard. We're just we're living the dream. I was like, oh shit. Right. All right, well, good for him.
Like that's my brand, like playing pretend, right? Like you're just playing pretend for a living.
Also, before we move on, get this. Todd Phillips said in an interview that the whole crew had to scramble every day on making this second Joker because fucking Joaquin would spend the first 3 hours of the shooting day in his trailer rewriting the scenes that they were supposed to film that day on napkins.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, y'all gave this motherfucker too much power, bro.
Yeah.
And I understand why Todd Phillips is like, yeah, we're not doing Joker 3, dog. I was like, yeah, because why would you want to put yourself through this process for a fucking third time? Because he did the same exact shit on the first one.
And like, I think Todd Haynes has proved that like
Todd Phillips
has proved that he is a director. Right, like he's just not like a fucking just the Hangover dude. Right. So like his mission is accomplished. Like his career can go on.
Right.
He doesn't have to attach himself just to Joker.
And for the last bit of news, this has been now a decade plus where Michael B. Jordan was supposed to star in a Thomas Crown remake. So now finally, MGM's like, yeah, look, we need a win. You're greenlit. They greenlit Thomas Crown Affair. So not only will Michael B. Jordan be starring in it, he'll also be directing it. And this is a quid pro quo because since he's doing this, he owes them Creed 4, which he will also they said like, yeah, Creed's your franchise now. Like Ryan Coogler spoke on his behalf for MGM. He was just like, yo, listen, Michael's the star and directing in it. Who after the star directs the movie, you can't go back from that. You just got to keep letting him do his thing. Yeah. And fine, because you could see he's going to grow into a very fine filmmaker. You just got to get
I mean, there was some really inventive, interesting stuff in Creed 3. So like, and I'm not mad about the Thomas Crown Affair because what is this, like the third remake?
Yeah, and it's not movie? Like, look, I haven't seen the OG. I've only seen the Pierce Brosnan one, and it's not like the Pierce Brosnan one is a great fucking treasure. Like that movie's fucking it is entertaining and well made, but that script and that story is fucking trash. Like it is stupid. Like that whole entire movie, every scene, I'm like, no, get the fuck out of here. No, should be in jail. that's easily a jail time. I'm like, no, no.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Like the Thomas Crown Affair is a fun, like Sunday afternoon hangover movie.
It is a perfect example of a dumbass movie for adults. Like we used to get dumbass movies for adults. So like, I'm not even mad at that. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. You know what? If they want to do this every 10 years or every 20 years, redo Thomas Crown Affair, sure. It's not like it's some holy grail. Like seriously.
Right. It's like it's not the best heist movie ever, right? So like it's absolutely fine. I'll watch. Like I'm sure it's going to be the Michael B. Jordan version is just going to be absolutely fine.
Yeah, man. Like I feel. Who knows? It might be the best version. We don't know.
Right. Yeah.
And hopefully it's successful enough that they actually get to do the Topeki Affair.
I didn't even know there was a sequel to I didn't know it was a book series.
It's not. There's a movie. There's a heist movie called Topeki. It's like a 1960s movie. They've been trying ever since the first one was a success. Pierce Brosnan and John McTiernan tried for literally up until the point that nigga went to jail, tried to do the Topeki Affair.
Okay.
So it was going to be Thomas Crown doing, it was going to be another remake, but starring Thomas Crown in Topeki. And I was just like, oh, that's pretty fucking cool. Like they tried to make the Topeki Affair for like a decade plus. And I'm just like, I don't understand how they couldn't get that made.
I don't know because I have no idea. It sounds like a slam dunk because like the Thomas Crown Affair, the Brosnan version, it was relatively successful.
Yeah, man, that was a huge hit. Like that was a hit.
Yeah, also like that was like that was 1999 early 2000s hit.
Oh yeah, because there's one part of that. There's one part of that score, and God bless Tom Conti because he gave us the Rocky theme. But like, there's parts of that score I'm just like, damn, this is janky and early 2000 as fuck. I was like, dude, this is terrible. And there's other parts of that score I'm like, yo, this is fucking great. But and our last bit of news, my man Denis Villeneuve straight up came out and said, he's like, yeah, I want everybody to stop calling Dune Messiah the third part. He's like, it is just part 2. Dune part 1 and part 2 or duology. He's like, yes, I get it. They're so different from each other stylistically. And it's true because I watched those movies back to back recently. And I like stylistically, I'm like, oh yeah, these motherfuckers are different. Even the score is like different between the two of them. But he was just like, bro, it's one story split into 2 movies. So stop calling Dune Part 2 a sequel. It's just a duology. He's like, Dune Messiah is the true sequel. And he straight up said, Dune Messiah, that's it for him because he's like, it gets too weird and too esoteric for me. But I'm not going to let Dune die on the vine. I will be there as a producer, handpicking the next filmmaker to take over from me to continue the Dune saga. And I'm like, all right. I respect that. Y'all gotta make sure you get a fucking good director though. Look, I'm now at peace with the fact that whatever comes after Messiah won't be as good as Denis stuff. But as long as they're still good, fine. You know what I'm saying? And like, look, there's plenty of talented filmmakers out there. You know what? Yeah, give this shit to Greta. I'd like to see Greta do weird shit.
Yeah. Like, I think a lot of people are kind of hung up on like, oh, if it's not a great film, it's not a good film. It's not enjoyable. Like sometimes good is good enough, right? So like I want someone to do a good movie.
You know how many franchises where we have masterpieces and then the rest are all trash? Like I would love for just to have a franchise where we have baseline good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the closest I can think of is probably Mission Impossible. But even then, there's some really trash entries into that. But I can't say I all out hate any of them.
Yeah, they're all entertaining. Some of them are actually great.
Right. There's two masterpieces in that series, which is the first one and Fallout. But there are also some baseline really good ones, right? Like fucking Rogue Nation, pretty fucking good. Ghost Protocol, pretty fucking good. And the rest are mixed bags. Like I can't say I hate any of them. They're just not as good as the rest of them.
Look, 2, arguably maybe the worst one.
Right. But it's still a John Woo movie, and it still has some cool shit in there. Like, I'm not even gonna front. There's some shit in there where I watched it recently. I'm like, yeah, nigga, that shit's still cool.
Right? Like it's
3,
it's entertaining.
3 is one big long episode of Alias, and instead of Sidney Bristow, it's Ethan Hunt. But there's even in 3, I'm like, damn, there's still some fucking cool ass shit in this though.
That bridge scene,
right? The Shanghai sequence where he fucking parachutes out the fucking building, the Vatican sequence, right? Philip Seymour Hoffman, fucking the opening where they rescue Carrie Russell. That shit is hard.
With the automated cannons, like
or like when fucking Luther hangs out the side of the fucking helicopter. He's like, the missiles are on us, and he shoots a flare. And the like, missile goes straight to the flare. Yeah, there's some
people like people hate 3. People are always shitting on 3. I fuck with 3. Like honestly,
because 3 is just a mediocre episode of Alias. And bro, like I saw 3 before I ever saw Alias, and during lockdown, I watched the entire show of Alias, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I get why now people shit on Mission Impossible, because like, yo, Alias is, that's one of the best shows ever made, like hands down. Like the only thing I have a problem with,
I still have not gotten
is the
Alias.
JJ mystery box shit, because there's still a couple of things that aren't resolved, because it's just that's JJ. But as a show, as a fully formed show, it's still satisfying, because at least I was just like, oh, this is where I wanted this character to end up. This is how I kind of wanted her story to end, and I'm satisfied with it, even though they do leave the Alias open, because one of the series, I'm just going to say it, one of the antagonists of the series is still out there, and they're sitting on the beach like, God damn, we still got to worry about this nigga, but I mean, at least we happy.
Yeah. Weren't they supposed to do a reboot of that? Of Alias? I know there was talks about it.
Just do another fucking spy show. Like, goddamn.
Yeah.
Goddamn, bro. Like, if we got to do Alias over, just do it as a movie.
I don't even need that, right? Like, let's have some original shit.
Bro, that pilot is one of the best pilots ever made. Like, you can't even, like, you watch that pilot, it's 90 minutes, and, like, it justifies the 90 minutes. Like, that shit, I was just like, damn, bro, JJ fucking snapped.
I'm gonna have to check out Alias. Like,
yeah, it's on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Because it's Disney Plus is Hulu, and Hulu is Disney Plus.
I can't connect my accounts, so they're still separate services for me. So some things that are on Hulu are strictly on Hulu and not Disney Plus. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and I gotcha.
So, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna front. I was surprised to log into Disney Plus last year and see they're like, Alias now streaming on Disney Plus. I'm like, this ain't for fucking kids, bro.
Because when they first announced Disney Plus, I was like, you're not going to be able to make any kind of money just off of Disney branded stuff, right? You're gonna have to do some other shit, and there we are.
Well, getting back to Denis, so we could finally move into what have we watched lately. He gave some updates on some long gestating projects. He said Cleopatra is coming along nicely. And they're like, so who do you think's going to play Cleopatra in your movie? He's like, oh, I've already talked to Zendaya about it. It's not a secret. Like, basically everybody knows it. He's like, that still hasn't changed. Like, if this movie gets made, it's going to be Zendaya. I was like, should not have. And I'm thinking, I'm like, this French Canadian white man should not be the first person to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna cast a person of color as Cleopatra. Because remember, for the longest time, it's supposed to be David Fincher doing it and Angelina Jolie starring in it. And I'm just
Didn't they do that though?
What?
Didn't she play Cleopatra? And she played other brown women.
She played Alexander's mom. That's what you're thinking of.
Right.
And not Oliver Stone. Yo, that's the thing that pisses me off, man. Like, what's his face? What's my man's name? Baz Luhrmann was going to do an Alexander the Great movie and then canceled it because of Oliver Stone, because they went into production at the same time and they got 3 weeks in the shooting. And then he was just like, wait, this movie's coming out real soon. He's like, fuck it. And so there's half of a fucking Baz Luhrmann Alexander the Great movie. And I guarantee you that motherfucker would have been better than Oliver Stone's. Like, no offense to Oliver Stone. He was not the dude to make that fucking movie. And it shows because there's like 8 different cuts. And I've only seen half of it. I don't even know what cut of I've seen.
I've never even seen it. I keep forgetting that there was an Alexander the Great movie starring Colin Farrell.
Yeah, that was the point where that was when Colin Farrell was a decent actor and they kept shoving him down our throat. And we're like, yo, why y'all keep shoving this nigga down our throat? It ain't like the Colin Farrell we have now where I'm like, oh yeah, this dude fucking kills it. It was the Colin Farrell was just like, yeah, sure, man. Like, and then Rendezvous with Rama, he said that is moving slowly and he's very happy with it so far. And I'm just like, damn. So they're like, so what's your next movie? Because, you know, Warner Brothers and Legendary set up your next movie. And he's just like, oh, y'all are going to have to wait and see. He's like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you what my next movie is. So we don't know. It'll either be, it could be Cleopatra. It could be fucking Rendezvous with Rama. Could be that fucking nuclear war movie, even though that sounds like that's probably a ways off. It could be Dune Messiah. We really don't know what his next movie is, which is wild. Honestly, I want Denis. What? I kind of
like the fact that we don't know what's coming up next.
Oh, hell yeah. I like Dune. I love everything associated with Dune. I definitely want more Dune, but I also want Denis to make other things. So that's why I'm just like, yeah, make something else before you do Messiah. So that way, when Messiah comes out, we're all primed and pumped and like, yeah, you know?
Sometimes
also been reported, get this, Jeff. Timothée Chalamet has been offered the role of Octavius in Cleopatra, and he's very close to accepting. And then Daniel Craig, he said recently, as he's promoting Queer right now, he straight up said like, oh yeah, I spoke with Denis about Cleopatra, and I even without reading the script, I accepted the role. You know who he's playing?
I'm guessing Caesar.
Damn, how'd you get that shit right?
Look, I am a big fan of the whole entire Mark Antony, Caesar, like that. Ancient Rome is my World War II. You know, like some motherfuckers are into World War II. I'm into fucking Ancient Rome.
Speaking of, man, I'm mad that HBO canceled Rome. That shit still hurts till this day.
That show was so fucking good.
Also still hurts they never made the movie. I was like, oh, y'all do the fucking Deadwood movie, but you couldn't have done the Rome movie. Now Ray Stevenson passed. Fuck y'all, man. Yo, Rome would have gotten 10 seasons had it come out like fucking 5 years later. Like, the only reason it got canceled was because it was too expensive. And now that's how much shows cost. Yo, Rome is a dime in the bucket compared to how much shows cost today.
Right, 100%. Like, it was the Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
honestly.
nigga. Yeah. So, anyways.
So if you have HBO, watch Rome.
Anyways, so Jeff, what have you watched lately?
What are you watching?
Okay, so what have I been watching? All right, so it's been a lot of TV, not too many movies. So we're going to start with my gold star pick of the week, of the year, whatever like that. Apple Plus's Bad Monkey, starring Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn was meant to play this character. He was meant to be in this light and breezy detective show. It hits on all fucking aspects. It embraces the weirdness of fucking Florida. The mystery is intriguing, right? The characters are well thought out, flushed out. The acting is great, and it's fucking hilarious. One of the best lines in this fucking show is by the narrator, and I had to write it down just because I felt this in my soul. It was, Yancey felt that warm glow he always got when he made an enemy for life. And like that spoke to me. It's like, okay, I can fuck with this show. Right now we're on episode 7. This is one of those shows that really makes it worth it for me to have that service. Like this and Hulu. By the way, Hulu's raising its prices next month. So
yeah, I saw that. I also don't like that Hulu dropped almost all their shows at once, and I'll get into them because I know me and you will probably talk about one together, but the other two, I'm like, bro, the fuck, man? Like, I go all year waiting for these shits to show, and you just try to drop all 3 at the same fucking time.
Right. So fuck you, Hulu, for that. But yeah, if you have Apple Plus, watch Bad Monkey. You will not be disappointed. I fucking guarantee it. Moving on from that, we're going to talk about another Apple Plus show, but I've been talking about this for a couple of years. Slow Horses. I fucking love that goddamn show. It is a spy show that you haven't seen before, about the worst spies in the the British intelligence, and somehow they make it fucking work. As always, fucking what's his? I can't think of his name right now. Who's Gary Oldman? Fucking kills it as a cantankerous, fucking old spy running this group of misfits. So, Slow Horses, Bad Monkey, Apple Plus. Moving on from that, we're going to move into Hulu. So there's a new show. Technically, it's on FX, but you can watch it on Hulu. English Teacher, about a gay English teacher in Austin, Texas, who's just dealing with his love life, but also dealing with this new crop of students, this generation of teenagers, and it's absolutely fucking hilarious. Once again, just like This Fool, this is about a Spanish person kind of navigating not only his own culture, but like white society. And like I said, it is refreshing. It is unflinching. It is fucking hilarious. It'll probably get canceled in a year because it's good. And we know how that plays out. But if you have a chance, if you have Hulu or FX, watch English Teacher. It is absolutely like gut busting hilarious. Moving on from that, also on Hulu by way of Onyx, is How to Die Alone. It's the story of and this is the description, a fat black baggage attendant at JFK who's navigating life and love.
Starring the always good Natasha Rothwell.
Yeah. She's, and like, this is her, she wrote it, she created it. I want to like this show more than I do. Right? We're only 4 episodes in. They dropped all 4 episodes yesterday. I watched the first 2. It's got some real potential, and I hope they find their footing in the latter episodes. It just feels a little too 90s, like 90s cinema. When I say that, like the weird editing for no reason. The like flashy motion graphics to punctuate shit. It feels cheap, right? But that's not necessarily like a strike against it. It's just the main character, especially in that first episode, she's a little too woe is me, right? Like, you want to like this character, you want to feel sympathy for her, but she is a wet blanket, right? And I get it. She almost dies on her birthday, yada, yada, yada. She's alone. But like, still, yeah, there was something about her that I could not connect with. But I want to give this show a chance because very rarely do we see shows created by Black women, like comedy shows about Black women, right? So, like I said, I'm gonna give it a chance. We'll see what it does. It has potential, but the first 2 episodes that I watched. Moving on from that, also on Hulu, because Hulu is one of those, because all these networks feed into Hulu. Like, everything's on there. Extraordinary. I watched the first 2 episodes. I'm locked in. I'll finish the rest of it. It's a British show about a world where everybody gets a superpower at the age of 18, right? Except for our main character, who is now 25 and has no superpowers, right? So it's her navigating life, also trying to accelerate or find a way to get her superpowers. It's funny, it's subversive, it's kind of gross in the best way. Like I said, I'm only 2 or 3 episodes in. It's enjoyable, and I'm gonna stick with it. It's British TV, right? So if you know British TV, they know how to do TV right. So if you're looking for a subversive take on the superhero mythos or superpower mythos that's not The Boys and is a little bit more light and breezy and funny, Extraordinary. Moving on from that into still in TV, Born Evil is a show a documentary show produced by Michael Bay, that is on HBO Max, about a serial killer, and it is definitely a Michael Bay produced documentary series about a serial killer. It's weird saying this about a show about a serial killer, but it takes itself way too seriously, but also it's flashy as fuck. Right? Like, quick cuts. The interviews are standard fucking Michael Bay trying to be serious. Look, I'm a Michael Bay apologist, and even though this is not created, like, even though this is not directed by Michael Bay, like, his hands are all over it. He even interviews via phone the serial killer from jail. Right, and their recorded conversations are this is why Michael Bay never got into journalism. You can tell that he is never going to be on CNN as a pundit or a commentator. If you like serial killer shows, if you like documentary shows, go ahead and watch it. But I'm warning you, this is a serial killer documentary series produced and created by Michael Bay. That's what you're getting. Moving into movies, I finally watched Jackpot, which is streaming on Amazon Prime. It's one of their originals. I liked it. It was dumb and fun. I don't know what else to say about it. Like, Michael Cena and Awkwafina have pretty good chemistry.
John Cena.
What did I say? Michael Cera?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. I would actually like to see that movie with Michael Cera. John Cena and Awkwafina have some pretty good chemistry. The jokes hit for me. The dumb action hit for me. It is not going to change your world at all, but I could see this being top tier comfort movie, right? When I say comfort movie, is one of those movies that you can put on in the background and you can either watch it or not watch it. That's 100% what Jackpot is. So if you have Amazon Prime, you could do fucking worse. Boom, there you go. In movies, moving on from that, I've been meaning to talk about this movie for a while, and I just haven't had the chance because we had so much other stuff going on. Thelma, which is an indie-ish film that dropped earlier this summer. So imagine an action film starring your grandmother. All right. It is about a woman who gets scammed over the phone for 10 grand and her quest to get her money back. It is hilarious. It is more action packed than you would think it was, and it's actually very poignant. Right? It reminds you that your grandparents are actual fucking people too, and old people are valued. Blah 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 blah. Right? Like all those things that we should be doing, respecting our elders. Yada yada yada. I'm not going to get into all the messaging. I'm just saying that this is very fucking effective.
You know what, man? Fuck respecting your elders, man. Yo, listen. I in my current line of work, I talk to old people all day. They rude as fuck. Also, one of my coworkers is old as fuck, and this nigga is one of the most disrespectful niggas ever, bro.
And but they earned it.
And forgetful.
Yeah. So yeah, none of those motherfuckers that you work with or deal with are in this fucking movie. This is a feel good movie at peak feel good, well acted, funny. I mean, I got nothing else to say about it. Thelma, you can watch it now on Amazon Prime. And the last movie I'm going to talk about, so we can keep this train moving, is 45. Right? I saw this on Amazon accidentally because I was going through trash cinema of the 80s, and I'll get into that in a later episode. I'm watching a lot of trash 80s cinema. This came up, 45, and I thought it was a remake of Abel Ferrara's Miss 45. Right? I was like, oh shit, they remade Miss 45. Let's see what this does. Unfortunately for me, it was not a remake of Miss 45. This was the best description I can give for Dot 45, starring Mila Jovovich and some other motherfuckers I don't care to remember their names, is white trash Rashomon. So it's pretty, yeah. Like the look on your face is all I need. You know what this is? It's white trash Rashomon. It is a bunch of interviews with scumbags and villains in Queens as they discuss what happened to the biggest scumbag, pimp, and low-level gun runner, and how he died. Right? It is the overacting here is fucking peak. Oh, fucking, if it's the scenery chewing here is like a Japanese dude in a hot dog eating contest. Right? That's how much the scenery is being chewed. God damn, right? Bro. Yeah, they go everybody's over fucking acting to an uncomfortable degree. Right? There's this whole entire scene where the big the main scumbag is beating up Mila Jovovich because they're in a relationship, and they are going so hard but so unrealistic that it made me uncomfortable. Right, and I guess it was deliberate, but not in the way they intended. And the whole entire movie is like this. It is not good. It is very bad. And I like very bad movies. I do not like this movie. Yeah, man. Like, yo, listen, I'm with you on liking very bad movies. All the movies I like are 90s blockbusters, and 80% of them shits are trash. Like, I'm not going to hold you. Yeah. So this movie's not trash. This is fucking garbage. Damn. Yeah. So don't get it twisted. Don't get confused like I did. 45, which is the caliber, that came out in like 2005 or some shit like that. I don't know. It is not a remake of Abel Ferrara's revenge classic Miss 45 from the 80s. It is a flaming piece of shit. If you want to know how not to act, watch this movie. And we're going to leave it at that. Brandon, what have you been watching? I'm going to start with TV, and I'm going to start with something that we both watched. The first 2 episodes of season 2 of The Old Man. I haven't gotten a chance to watch The Old Man, so that's all you, man. All right. Well, the first 2 episodes, I love it because the first episode is just basically like the odd couple with guns, because these like they are a hair like these niggas are a hair away from shooting each other, and it is amazing. I could just watch John Lithgow and fucking oh man, why am I blanking on the fucking main character? Jeff Bridges. Yeah, Jeff Bridges. Like, I could watch them two bicker all day and be entertained by it. Because, like, those dudes, even when they're bickering, they are acting. You know what I'm saying? It is just entertaining to watch 2 thespians, old-ass thespians, be in the middle of the desert bickering, and they get ambushed, and their plan keeps going south. And it gets to the point where fucking Jeff Bridges is like, all right, well, it's time to grab this pistol and let me do my thing. And John Lithgow's like, stop killing people. And he's just like, and he just looks at him like, look around, what are we supposed to do? And he walks over, he just shoots a dude. He's like, see, I just told you, stop shooting somebody. And then episode 2, we're with Alia Shawkat as she's being held prisoner. And this is a lot more complex than I was anticipating. Just like this fucking show. I thought this show was going to be simple to follow, but like, from the gate, like I was like, oh, this is much more complex than I thought. Like, that's what this season, I was like, it is wild watching these first 2 episodes and then thinking back on the first episode, how this all snowballed into this ridiculous situation. And then you watch the coming this season on The Old Man, and I'm just like, wait, Amy Brennan's back? Why the fuck is she back? And she's back with a shotgun shooting motherfuckers. I was like, bro, didn't she spend the whole season terrified of Jeff Bridges? Like, you're an evil man. And now here she is. She's like, yeah, I'm back. You're with me now. And I'm just like, oh, Jeff, this is why sometimes you don't fuck everything, every woman you meet. This is a perfect example of why I tell niggas, I'm like, bro, look, listen, I love sex too, but there comes a point in time in your life where you can sniff it in the air and be like, you know what? We should remain friends and let's just work together. Because like I gotta go back and rewatch the first season. Aren't they technically married? Like, didn't they get? Oh yeah. Because it was some shit. I forget what it was. Yeah, but they're technically married. Yeah, dog. Like. The main antagonist of this show, they humanize them in the second episode. And then in the grand scheme of things, you're just like, oh, wait, you're not as bad as everybody else, bro. In the grand scheme of things. Yo, so like The Old Man was a surprise when we first watched it, right? It wasn't for me, bro, because like, yo, you had Jeff Bridges being directed by John Watts. It's a prestige show on FX. Like, usually the shit pans out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but like that, like I watched that first episode. I was like, oh, word, this is the show. And it just kept on getting wilder and wilder from there. Like, if you're not watching The Old Man, you were fucking yourself.
Literally, the show's about Jeff Bridges is a retired CIA agent because he fucking absconded and hid out and changed his name. He's found and an assassination attempt's been made on him, and the whole thing fucking snowballs now to this complex fucking. Yo, they might as well have Tom Clancy writing this motherfucker.
This fucking show is dumb good, and I can't wait to get into these two. Like the way you sold that first episode of the season. Yeah, the odd
first
couple
two,
with guts.
The first episode is them two bickering, and then the second one is Alia Shawkat and the main antagonist, and you're just like, bro, the escalation on this show is like from Batman Begins to The Dark Knight, where it's just like, oh, this is just chaos. You know what I mean? Like that's one of the reasons why I love The Dark Knight, because the Joker is just supposed to be an embodiment of chaos. Like he saw Batman, he's like, oh, I could get away with doing some crazy shit too. And that's like the whole point of the movie. It's just like, yo, escalation, and then the best of us can be corrupted. Because by the end of the movie, what happens? Harvey Dent's corrupted, right?
Right.
The only person, that's why I love that final scene between Batman and the Joker, because that's when Joker finally realizes like, oh, I can't fucking break you, bro. I've tried so many different ways. And he's just like, damn, this is going to be fun then.
Right.
And
because the Joker realizes that Batman is him, because the Joker can't be broken. So it's like, it's what was it when an unstoppable force meets
an immovable object. Like he can't. That's why he said we're gonna have fun. And I was just like, damn, that's too bad that was never executed upon. But like, unfortunately, but like, yeah, man, like. That's the show. It's just escalation where you're just like, God damn, bro. Like, just when you think you reach the apex, they take it a step further, and you're just like, man, you can't even blame the characters at all either.
Oh man.
Yeah, so The Old Man. Moving on. Fucking Tell Me Lies came back. It came back last week, so I had to watch the first 2 episodes, and I'm just like, damn, this is another show where I'm just like, yo, y'all are terrible people. Like, The Old Man, I can understand them. These people, I'm just like, it's like that fucking TikToker where she kept going, and I the drama? Yeah, I guess I'm the drama. I'm like, that's every character in this show where I'm like, yeah, bitch, you're the drama. Like, all the men and the women. I'm like, yo, all of y'all are fucking messy. And this is why you don't have a close-knit group and y'all start fucking each other.
Yeah.
And then try to keep it a secret from each other.
It's like, we all know you're fucking.
Yeah. Like, come on, bro. You guys have a tight-knit friend group. Most of y'all are dating each other. And then behind each other's back, y'all fucking in one another. Like, what'd you think was going to happen? Especially when you have a sociopath as the most liked person. And everybody knows he's a fucking sociopath. Like, I love how in the one episode, dude got back with his old girlfriend, Steven, the sociopath, got back with his old girlfriend at the end of last season. So the beginning of this season, he has a sit down with girl's dad. She's half black. Dude's her dad's black. He sits down and she's like, she can tell she gets uncomfortable. She's like, all right, I'm going to go to the bathroom, because they're sitting down because he's trying to get a job at his law firm. And as soon as she walks away, he's like, yo, listen, I know you're manipulative. I know you fucking play everybody against each other. I know you're a sociopath. And I'm only doing this for my daughter. But I'm going to tell you right now, 2 things. 1, that works good as a lawyer, but don't press it too far, because the lawyer community is tight-knit and we know shit like this. Number 2, if you fuck over my daughter again, I will do everything in my power to hurt you. And I'm just like, God damn, like, this nigga sees right through you, and you still working with him. Like, yo, bro, if I knew Steven, I would try to kill Steven, because like that's the type of dude who's going to cause. He's like the Joker. He causes chaos for his own enjoyment because he's a fucking psychopath. All he cares about is fucking people over with petty drama, playing games, and having sex with every girl he meets. Like me personally, like I'd be out to destroy this nigga. So I gotta watch the third episode because this is also Hulu's problem. Like, stop releasing 2 episodes. Like, I get it, you're trying to get people Prime, but like 1 episode's good. Like, once you do that for the first season. Right. Once we get past the first season, we don't need every season to have 3 2-episode drops. Just release it week by week. Because that's the other problems. Like, I also got to watch Futurama, which is also on Hulu. So this week's Futurama was pretty fucking funny because it was the Jamaican dude inheriting a farm on another planet.
A farm.
Yeah, a farm.
Farming something.
A farm. So him, his 3 sons, his wife, and the dude who's cucking him all go to this farm. Yeah, this is why I like. But shout out to Hulu. I was like, yo, all right. So the 3 main shows I watch, y'all decide to put on at the same fucking time. Now it creates a problem.
Right.
This is the problem. Yeah. This is the problem with streaming. You go from having nothing to watch to everything to watch because I don't know if they all do this at the same time, but like they'll just be lulls across every streaming service with nothing. And then all of a sudden all these services will throw up all the shit you love at the same time. And I'm just like, bro, come on, bro. Like, I didn't even get to watch Kite Man this week.
It's because they're using the same distribution strategy that TV did, but it's a new landscape, right? So like they're still putting out shit like as if it's a season, but like I can watch it whenever I fucking want because it's streaming. That was the point. So you got to come up with a different method of releasing these shows so I'm not fucking inundated and I can like have something new to watch like all the time, because you're right. There are these fucking dumbass lulls.
Right, because there's the end of July and all of August, there was nothing up. And now we hit like, we're halfway through September and everybody decides to throw everything up. Like the Penguins coming on this week. And I'm just like, bro, we had all of August and the last bit of July. And y'all decide now to throw all this shit up.
Right. Yeah. Like this. Yeah. Like I said, they're using TV distribution models because September was usually when they started rolling out for this season.
Right.
No one watched TV during the summer. Right. But if I can watch this shit if I can watch this shit whenever I want, then why is there a season? Why are you sticking by that old season? Like, gotta drop it in September.
Yeah, shit. Well, everybody also found out that people watch shit year round because, shit's expensive. It's hotter than it used to be, so the beach is not as fun. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's everywhere because everywhere is populated now.
And like, let's face it, even if you do go to the beach, you can watch the shit on the beach. I've seen that shit, right? Like, sit underneath a fucking umbrella and watch a show while you relax.
That sounds like a good time to put on some headphones, drink a fucking few pina coladas, and pass out halfway through your 4th one while watching a show.
Yeah, that sounds like some top tier 1% shit that I want for my life.
Yeah, I like how people make fun of me for drinking cocktails. Like, they're like, you drink pina coladas? I'm like, yeah, nigga, I'm old. I don't want to drink straight liquor anymore, bro. And also, it doesn't take too much for me to get drunk anymore, which is a good thing.
Right.
1. And number 2, like, I just don't want to fucking get blackout drunk all the time.
And look, at a certain point in your life, you want fancy shit.
Yeah. Like, no offense, man. I don't want to taste. Sometimes I just don't want to taste vodka, but I want vodka.
Yeah, I get it.
Like, I want rum. Don't want to taste the rum. It's just how it is, bro. Like, I'm not fucking 20 anymore.
Yeah. Sometimes you want fancy shit.
And sometimes, you know what? And sometimes I like a twisted tea every once in a while. Yeah, make fun of me for it, but you know what? After fucking 2-3 of them, I'm feeling pretty fucking good.
And like, I respect people who drink twisted tea over dudes who drink like, what's that, the carbonated water bullshit.
Oh no, I fuck with those two. Fucking White Claws.
White Claws. I love. You know what I love doing with White Claws?
Crossfading. You know what crossfading is?
Well, I know the concept, but what do you crossfade with?
Edibles and fucking White Claws.
Do you dissolve the edible in the White Claw?
No, I just eat it, and then once the edible kicks in, drink the White Claw.
Oh,
that's that's how I lost mad weight, because like during lockdown, I would work out, and then like I would be in so much pain because my body wasn't used to that. So I would just eat an edible and drink 2 White Claws and pass out for the rest of the day because there's nothing else to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd read a book or two. And then once I got zooted, I'd put on some music, drink some White Claws, and then by like 8 o'clock, I was passed out to wake up and work out again.
I kind of miss lockdown.
Yeah, man. Right?
I kind of miss it.
I probably, if that shit ever happens again, Jeff, you're going to see me looking like a fucking Somalian kid again. Because I came out of lockdown looking like a Somalian.
There was only 2 ways people came out of lockdown: either like really fit or really not fit.
Oh, bro, and that was like 90% of people is like, I remember seeing people coming out of lockdown. I'm like, God damn, bro, like, damn, like I get it, we're in our houses, but like that didn't give you the fucking right to eat like 8 sleeves of Oreos, bro. One dude came up to me, he's like, and he gained weight. He's like, bro, you're the only person who lost weight during lockdown. How'd you do it? And I'm just like, I have a routine, which was wake up, work out, read some books, get some, type some scripts, and then get fucked up. Y'all, they're just like, what's your secret, bro? Like, I gained weight, you lost weight. I was like, yeah, nigga, it's called portioned eating. And because we're in the house all the time, whenever I got hungry, I would just drink water, and it didn't matter because I wouldn't lose any sleep because I was in the house. So I'd wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, lose 30 minutes of sleep because I had to take the Austin Powers piss. But it didn't matter because I could make it up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but so Tell Me Lies, Futurama, the Old Man, all on Hulu. Great. Only Murders in the Building. This week's episode was wild because Divine Randolph, I think that's how you say her name.
I mean, I don't know. Like, that's how it's spelled. I don't know if that's how you actually say it.
Okay, but Miss Randolph, she's back, and she is. I swear to God, she has me cracking up every time she comes on screen on this show. Like, they should just make her a regular on this show. To be quite honest with you, as soon as she shows up, she's like, "Somebody's trying to kill y'all. I gotta protect y'all," and they're all standing there guiltily, like, "Yeah, we know." And she's like, why are you on the phone with 911? Well, she's like, because they had the whole running joke of this week's episode was like, they're trying to call 911 to report a murder, and they're put on hold for 2 hours. So when they finally get through, she's in the apartment building. She's like, why are you on 911? And she's like, 911, what's your emergency? Do you have an emergency? Yes, I do. But there's a cop here. And you see Steve Martin slowly hang up the phone. And she's like, well, there's been another murder. And you just see her go, fuck. She's like, fuck. God damn it. You 3 with these fucking murders. She's like, who did it? Who did it? Who died? And she tells him, oh, his ass. And he's like, your fucking stunt double died? So now you're just trying to tell me, you all know about this, and now you're just trying to tell me now somebody's after one of y'all? Y'all didn't think to tell me this sooner? God fucking damn it. She's like, y'all need to lay low because I know somebody's going to try and kill y'all. And they're like, well, we're trying to solve it, so we have another season of the podcast. She's like, fucking...
I got to catch up on this season.
I'm enjoying this season much more than I did the last season.
Honestly, I only got 4 episodes into that last season.
Yeah, I wasn't really fucking with season 3.
Yeah, so I gotta finish up season 3 so I can get into season 4. I love the show, but that
Yeah, it's
that last
so
season.
the whole mystery was so uninteresting. Like this one is so much more involving and funnier and better. And you know what, man? I'm glad they got renewed for a season 5. They're like, that shit happened quick. As soon as episode 2 aired, they're like, oh yeah, it's season 5. I was like, God damn.
All right, look, as long as the quality is consistent, I'm fine with it.
One thing I will say that I love is while I watch the show, now there's Discovery commercials with Steve Martin and Martin Short, and they're hilarious because Steve Martin is in a bookstore trying to buy all these books, and he's like, "Oh, I forgot my credit card, but hey, did you know barnacles leech off of I forget what he said, and he's just like, yeah, I guess you're my barnacle," and he's like, what? And he's like, nothing. And Martin Short taps his card to pay for Steve Martin's books. That shit is me hilarious. It's like, yo, Martin Short just called Steve Martin a barnacle in a fucking Discovery commercial.
Like, I think I would like their live show. Like,
yeah, me too.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to give us tickets, we'll review that shit.
Yeah, give us some tickets for Larry David's show.
Oh, that's right. He's playing Philly, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to, because you know he's not going to give a fuck. He'll say and do whatever he wants.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be fucking amazing.
All right, so with that, let's keep it moving. Kite Man, I'm going to talk about the last few episodes. They're trying to, Kite Man and his girlfriend Glider are now trying to hide the anti-life equation. They have it in a briefcase, and they're trying to hide it from all the bad guys now.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, that's funny because I think the anti-life equation is easily the worst thing in the DC universe. Like, that shit's just stupid. That's what turns Superman evil in every iteration of that shit, and he starts being the acolyte of Darkseid and shit, and it makes Darkseid much more powerful. It's stupid. I hate it. I fucking hate it. All right, let's move on into movies, and I'm going to start with, on Labor Day, I decided to take advantage of the free train rides and head into Times Square to apparently the largest 4DX in the world. I'm not going to hold you, screen's pretty fucking big. And I did a double feature of Twisters and Twister. Thankfully, they decided to show the OG first. So I saw the OG, not the OG, the sequel first.
Right.
So I sat through the sequel. I was just like watching it this time. I was just like, oh, my man's moving the camera like Spielberg. Like, it is literally like to the point. Like, I started paying attention to how he's placing the camera and how the camera moves. I was just like, why not just get Spielberg to do the third one, y'all? Like, at this point, like, y'all had Jan de Bont doing Spielberg in the first one. Now you got Lee Isaac Chung doing Spielberg in this. Like, just get Spielberg to fucking direct it. I mean, he already has his production company in this motherfucker. Like,
right. I mean, I honestly, I would love to see Spielberg do Twisters.
So, I will say, better movie in 4DX, but what does it say that, you know, in order to enjoy this shit, we had to sit through a theme park ride? Like, this shit was fun as fuck. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you, but like,
yeah, like, I hated the movie the second time. I hated the movie more the second time I saw it in 4DX, but I enjoyed the experience more because of the 4DX. Right.
So, moving on from that, I want to talk about Twister, the OG. Better 4DX experience and better movie all around. Like, look, you get fucking thrown around in Twisters. And Twister, I was just like, holy shit, bro, I wish this shit had seatbelts. Bro, just as a movie, it played better. Like, people were laughing at the jokes in this motherfucker. People were clapping whenever characters did something or say something. I was like, oh, this is just playing better with the audience. And Twisters was sold out. Twister wasn't. Like, Twister was a little more than halfway full, and it played so much better. That is fucking wild.
Look, quality is quality, man. Doesn't matter if it's 20 years old or not. Like, quality is quality.
I will say this. People clapped at the end of both of them. They were just like, yeah, woo. And then at the end of each one with the final tornado, the reaction was the same exact thing, where once it was done and that tornado dissipates, everybody starts laughing and then breaks out into applause.
Yeah, because it's absolutely ridiculous in both of them. But like, it's less ridiculous in the first Twister.
No, but it's because you're being
the 40X.
Yeah. But like, just man, like this confirmed it. I'm like, y'all fucked up trying to wait this long to make a sequel to Twister and then make it an inferior movie at that. Like, I agree with you. Like, now watching these back to back, I do agree with you, and I take back what I said earlier. The tornadoes are better in Twisters than they are in Twister.
Right.
But they feel more real and dangerous in the first one rather than the second one.
Well, because of the directing and the writing, they put more gravity, right? Like in the reactions of the people to, like, it's in the first one, the Twisters feel like this omnipresent sort of like malevolent
threat
thing.
Yeah.
Threat. And like in the second one is like, oh yeah, tornadoes. They're dangerous.
Yeah. Like, I'll be real with you, the best set piece in the second one is the pool.
Yeah, which is pretty much just the drive-in scene.
Right.
In the first one.
Right. And the only reason why I say the pool's incredible is just because of Lee Isaac Chung and the way he's directing it. Because watching it this time, I was just like, oh, my man's doing a Spielberg oneer. Because I didn't even pay attention the past couple of times I saw it. I was like, this time watching, I'm like, oh, this shit's a oneer. Once they get in the pool, it becomes a oneer.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, nigga. Like, I was watching, I'm like, damn, this is impressive as shit.
Oh. Now I'm gonna have to watch this fucking movie again.
Yeah, once it hits HBO Max.
Yeah.
Like, the only time I'll go to pay to see this again,
it's 40X.
Oh yeah. Like the 40X, I was just like, oh yeah. Also, the sound in 40X should not be better than IMAX or Dolby. Makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, like I said, when I saw it in 40X, it was a better experience all around.
So I'm gonna move on. They got a remastered in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. They got a 1 week run. Shaun of the Dead. So I went after work to the Fashion District and saw it in the Dolby there. That Dolby is huge and it's a giant square. I'm like, was this supposed to be an IMAX instead of a Dolby? Because it's so big. And you know, IMAX is a square, not a rectangle, right?
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah.
So watching it, sitting in that theater, I'm like, dog, I swear to God, this is supposed to be an IMAX, and they probably just rebranded it as a Dolby. Because, like, come on. But anyways, This movie, like, I always liked Shaun of the Dead. I always loved Shaun of the Dead. Rewatching it, I'm like, oh, this might be the best of the Cornetto trilogy. Like, Hot Fuzz was my favorite. But, like, rewatching this, I'm like, this is close to a perfect movie. Like, it's still fucking funny. I still love the characters. What's his face? Edgar Wright is just doing so much, and it's loud as fuck. Like, even the quick cut transitions that he does in that movie, loud. Every single one of them, loud. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, this Dolby is rocking. And you wouldn't think for a romantic comedy with zombies.
Yeah, and like, here's the thing: I've always loved Shaun of the Dead over the rest of the Cornetto trilogy, right? Like, Hot Fuzz, it's good.
I gotta rewatch it again.
It's good, but like, it's not, to me, it's not great. And like, End of the World,
World's End,
whatever, like that.
That shit is depressing. Like, that shit that makes. I've seen that movie twice, and both times I'm just like, bro, I feel terrible once that movie ends. Like, it is a feel bad movie.
Yeah, like, I do not like that movie at all, but I will agree with you. Shaun of the Dead, no lie, I've seen about 20 times. I love that fucking movie.
I will say this. I love every single Edgar Wright movie except for World's End. Otherwise, he's never made a bad movie, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, like he's never failed.
Yeah,
he's just the movie has failed to connect with me. But like, I've never watched an Edgar Wright movie and been like, oh, that's a piece of shit.
Yes,
right?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. This like I'm so glad I got to see this in Dolby though. Like, goddamn, like I hope the 4K Blu-ray is coming out soon because like the remaster they did on this, Jeff. I'm so glad I got to see it in Dolby Vision, bro. And then seeing because Egger shoots everything on film, so it looks amazing in Dolby Vision. In addition with the sound,
I'm mad that I forgot that this was the 20th anniversary re-release.
Yeah, bro, and it was the last showtime because I went Thursday at 1:45. Last showtime for this shit. Excuse me. Last showtime for this shit. Theater was half full, and I was just like, "Why is there so many motherfuckers in here seeing this movie a Thursday 1:45?"
Because it's good. Because it's good.
They're all college kids, so I get it, because, Temple is, like, nearby. So, but, like, yeah, dog, like, oh, man. I was just like, damn, man, we don't get shit. Goddamn, like, can we just invest in our filmmakers? That's the problem. It's like, we don't invest and believe in our filmmakers. And part of that, I feel like, comes from Marvel.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because this was right before right before Marvel became a thing, right? Before it took over everything. Before we had franchises, we've always had franchises, but they were still movies,
right?
They felt like movies, not commodities.
Even making some of these movies, like the director is still able to inject themselves into it, even though they're studio noted, right?
Right.
You used to be like, okay, I can work with this and still make a movie, and now it is literally like, oh no, this is what you have to do, and you have a little sliver of your personality in there if you can.
Right.
So you know what, man? In retrospect, I'm glad Edgar Wright walked away from Ant-Man, because I would rather not see a Edgar Wright movie if he has to be neutered. Like, I don't want to see a neutered Edgar Wright movie.
Right. And like, honestly, with Marvel movies and these higher end directors, honestly, they're just using the brand of the director, right? It's just like slapping a label on it, like, oh yeah, this was directed by Sam Raimi.
They tricked us 3 times, right?
Yeah.
They tricked us with Eternals with Chloe Zhao. Even though there's parts of that movie where I'm like, oh, that's Chloe Zhao. They tricked us with Nia DaCosta, who clearly, you watch that movie, I'm like, yeah, Nia's not in this at all. And then Sam Raimi, and Sam Raimi was able to inject himself, but it was just...
It was a messy story. It wasn't... It like, barely was able to inject himself into it.
Like, the only Marvel movies that feel like the product of their directors are Iron Man 1, Iron Man 3... Ragnarok, and the Guardians movies, and Black Panther, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's literally it.
Yeah.
I guess you could say Captain America 2, 3. Well, 2 more than 3. 3.
I mean, like,
2
I didn't
definitely,
know.
and Infinity War. I was just like, the handheld. I was like, oh, that's the Russos. Like, it's weird how the Russos, like, they're either on or they're off. Like, Civil War I like the movie, but as far as them and having any personality in that movie,
right?
Barely any. Versus what was it? Winter Soldier, you can feel it. And you can feel it in Infinity War too. Like, those are 2 movies where I'm like, oh yeah, the director's personalities are in this. But like,
but here's the thing: I didn't know enough about the Russos before Winter Soldier, besides the fact that they did a lot of work on Community, right? I didn't know anything about their work to know if that was what their style was. Right.
All right, moving on. I watched the 2-part documentary, Wise Guy, David Chase and the Sopranos. It's mostly fluff, but there's some good nuggets in here. Gimmick ending though. I thought that was corny.
Did they cut to black?
Yep.
For the yeah.
Because David Chase was getting ready to explain, going in depth in his decision to end the series the way he did, and
so fucking obvious. Fucking obvious.
Yeah, I was just like, guys, David Chase pulled that off, and he pulled it off, and it was a magic trick. Don't fucking
Right. Don't make a joke of it. Right.
Also, they asked them like because they interview the people who were running HBO at the time, in addition to the cast and David Chase, and they get into James Gandolfini's alcoholism making this show and shit like that. But one of the things I loved was watching the HBO guard talk about it is like, you know, this show got pitched to every network under the sun. And they were just like, no, because like there's nobody to root for in this motherfucker. And he's just like, well, yeah, that's the point. And so HBO read it and they're just like, I mean, we don't really have much. So like, yeah, sure. And they asked them, they're like, you know, why did you let David direct it? And they're like, every meeting we've had, he had a specific vision. And we just wanted a pilot to see what this show looked like. So we said to him, like, yeah, sure, you might as well direct it since you wrote it. Because they're like, you've worked on other shows. You know how a set runs because you've been on other shows and been on set as a writer. So like, yeah, we'll give you the leeway to direct this show, especially since it's so much in your head. Right. And they let him do it. And what's crazy is I didn't even realize this. Same DP for the 2 episodes he directed, because he only directed 2 episodes of the show, the pilot and the finale. Same DP. Right. And listening to them talk about how they approached both episodes as far as directing, it's crazy how they're just like, yeah, let's do something different like each time, and broke the rules of television both times.
Yeah. Yeah, when you let creatives create, sometimes you get magic.
That's why the editing in the finale is so fractured, is because he wants it to be like memories. That's on design. Because I remember watching as it aired, and like I know everybody was talking about the ending, but for me, the editing threw me off because I was like, why is the editing so fractured? Like they'll be walking and then it'll cut to them sitting and they won't be saying anything, and then it'll cut to them in the middle of the conversation. I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, I got that from Fellini. I wanted to do memories. I was trying to do like 8.5 and shit like that. I was like, oh, okay, all right. And apparently the original ending for this show was going to be Tony driving into New York. And he was going to be driving and you were going to see multiple threats, and it was going to just cut to black like the show does, because he wanted to imply like, oh yeah, this motherfucker got whacked going to a meeting. Like these people are, nobody's trustworthy in the mob. And instead he was just like, well, no, this has always been about the family, not just about Tony. So we need the whole family there. So he redesigned it. He's like, I want to keep it very simple, but I also wanted to keep the audience on edge like that. He's like, my thing I was interested in doing is just building in that last scene. And he's like, it builds because everybody comes in one at once. The song's playing. It's giving it tension. So threats are constantly walking in, like the 2 black dudes walk in, the dude in the members only jacket. They're like, you just don't know what's going to happen. Like, and he's like, I wanted to leave it up to the audience. Does he get whacked, or does he just live the rest of his life as a crime boss with his family? And like, he's like, the whole point of the show was to show you how unhappy Tony was in every episode. And like and I wanted to show life how it was, which is ugly. He's like, that's why Melfi's rape goes unresolved, because that's how life is. It's just ugly. And he's like, you know, one of the hardest things we've ever done was when Joey Pants's character beats the hooker to death, or the stripper to death. And he's like, that, I remember we wrote that and we were all just crying because we're just like, man, this is probably going to go unresolved. And then it got to a point where everybody kept asking us about it. We're like, all right, let's resolve it. And like,
we got to do something. Yeah.
And they even said, they're like, yeah, it probably would eat at Tony too, because Tony looked at her as a daughter. So it finally snapped where Tony killed him. And like, that's primarily where the rest of his troubles lie for the rest of the show, is killing Joey Pants because he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we should do a whole entire episode on The Sopranos because it is literally one of the best shows.
Well, watch this documentary first, right?
Yeah.
Watch the documentary first, and then we could do the whole show, because as much as I've only watched the whole show through twice, excuse me. I watched the whole show through twice, and I don't know if I want to watch it a third time, just because it's one of those shows where I'm just like, whew, it's great, but like it takes a lot out of you.
The only season I won't rewatch is the one where Tony is in the hospital after getting shot, because it was like a little too real.
Oh, that's season 5.
Season 5, like, so that the first half of season 5 where he's like in the hospital, that was a little too much, like, because I've been through that shit. Yeah,
I'll be real with you. Season 4 to me is the best season, just because you're just watching the disintegration of a marriage, and it is just so real and so like vivid. On top of all the mob shit, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, yo! Like those are pent up feelings.
Yeah. But that's the whole entire show. Like, there'll be an incident that you will think is so minor in the first half of the season that like it'll have it'll pop off or have a resolution later on, and that's life, right?
But it's also crazy because there's so many characters they talk about that never appear. Like, the documentary gets into it. There's so many characters who are important to the narrative of the story who never once appear on screen, but they're mentioned multiple times.
And that's how you do it. We don't need to see the fucking backstory as long as we understand the importance of this fucking character.
It's like Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. They always talk about Jim Cummings, and Jim Cummings' presence is always felt because a lot of the shit that happens is because of Jim Cummings, and you never once see Jim Cummings in that movie.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I could talk about The Sopranos forever, but like, I'll check out the documentary. But like, that ending for the documentary is bullshit.
Yes. Rewatch Minari on HBO Max, which is Lee Isaac Chung's movie that was nominated for Best Picture and a bunch of awards, and this is what got him Twisters. And I remember really liking the movie, and yeah, I still really like this movie. This is a great like fable of a family just failing. You know what I'm saying? you know, it's like the trial of Job, where Job just fails over and is being tested. Like, that's this movie, but I mean, it's such a well put together movie. Like, I love it so much. I forgot Will Patton's in this.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I fucking love this movie. Streaming on HBO Max in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, believe it or not. And Stephen Yeun, man, like, there's points of, like, Stephen Yeun, I've never hated Stephen Yeun. Even in Nope, where he's playing a straight scumbag, and I'm just like, well, I get where he's coming from.
Right.
This, I'm just like, bro, stop being a piece of shit, bro. Like, for a minute, like, I understand you're trying to like do right by your family, but damn, bro, like, woo. Autobiography for Lee Isaac Chung. And the last thing I'm going to get into, because the rest of the stuff I'm going to save for the main review. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is Philadelphia. Reason why I'm going to talk about this is because Criterion Channel has this month they have a whole courtroom dramas channel. And I was like, oh yeah, I haven't seen Philadelphia since my high school senior class, health class, because they showed that to us for AIDS, you know what I'm saying? And I hadn't seen it since then. Like, that was my first and only time seeing it. And this is Philadelphia in a nutshell, a city where I'm just like, ugh. And every time I leave, I'm just like, thank God. And every time I go to, I just feel fucking dread.
I fucking love Philly.
I fucking hate Philadelphia. You need to call that city the city of brotherly hate. You have nicer people in New York City than you do Philly. Like, Philly, it could nuke Philly from the face of the earth, and I'd just be like, oh well, you know, it is what it is.
I wholeheartedly disagree. It is a den of scum and villainy, but like, God damn it, when you're in the right part, you feel like family.
Nah, fuck Philly. We could blow Philly up. Anyways, I know when people talk about Jonathan Demme, they talk about Stop Making Sense and Silence of the Lambs. And by the way, for some reason, you know, A24 all year has been doing an IMAX run where they'll put certain movies in IMAX. And last year they did Stop Making Sense. I talked about it on this show.
Right. Mm-hmm.
This month's movie is Stop Making Sense. I'm like, yo, y'all just did that. Just like last month, it was Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm like, yo, that y'all just did that. Like that won Best Picture. Like that had an IMAX run. Same with Stop Making Sense. That had like a 2-week IMAX run. And y'all throwing that back in theaters.
Trying to make that money.
But anyways, my point being, I think this is the best directed film Jonathan Demme has made because this nigga is doing wild camera tricks. The close-ups are insane. There's a part where the room fades to red when Denzel Washington watches Tom Hanks dance to opera, and it's amazing. Like, even I feel like these are the best performances that he's ever gotten. Shame that Tom Hanks and Denzel never made another movie together. They should. Like, Jesus Christ, 2 of our greatest actors.
Yeah, I honestly haven't seen Philadelphia honestly since I was a teenager, maybe early 20s, but like it's been about 20 years since I've seen this fucking movie.
Bro, the when he's promoted to partner, it's all brightly lit and warming, and they're so close to him. It's so amazing. And then once he's fired, the way it's shot where he's so far away across the room and they look so big just looming over him, I was just like, yeah, Jonathan Demme, you fucking snapped on this shit. Like, the shot of Andrew, which is Tom Hanks's character, the shot of him walking out when Denzel's like, yeah, I don't want to fucking represent you in your fucking case. Get out of here. Like, stop short of calling him the F word.
Right.
The shot of Andrew where he walks out of the office and he just looks around the streets of Philadelphia and he realizes he's alone, and that look on his face is just a powerful moment. And also, I was like, oh yeah, that's how it feels to live in that fucking city and to be in that fucking city. As one of the Bruce Springsteen wrote a song for this movie called Streets of Philadelphia, probably the best song ever written for a movie. Like, the song itself is even better than the movie. Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's how it is with that song playing in the background. And Streets of Philadelphia, one of the saddest songs you've ever heard. But I was like, yeah, that accurately portrays the feeling of Philadelphia. Is that song and that shot? I was like, damn, Tom Hanks won the Oscar for this movie because of that shot of him just realizing he's alone and he's standing on the street looking around. And it's that close up as that song's playing in the background. I'm like, yeah, nigga, like that's what got him that best actor. Honestly, if I was an Oscar member, I'd be like, yo, this is the moment we got to nominate this shit for Best Picture.
Right.
On top of Jonathan Demme just freaking the fuck out of that movie. Him and the cinematographer, Tak Fujimoto, famous cinematographer, shot this motherfucker.
I gotta go back and watch Philadelphia.
Yeah, and I gotta watch a few more in the courtroom dramas section. So let's keep it moving. Let's get into trailer talk. We got a trailer to talk about.
Roll camera and action.
It's time for some trailer talk.
All right, so for trailer talk, we got Rachel Zegler double feature. Let's start with the good one, Y2K. That shit looks hilarious.
It looks fun, and I'm a big fan of what's the dude's name? Mooney?
Yeah, Kyle Mooney on SNL. He's like one of the best people they got on that motherfucker.
Is he still on there?
Yeah.
Or is he off?
Yeah, he's on.
Yeah? Yeah, like I was like, he was the best part of Zoolander 2. He's the best part of a lot of shit he's in. And the fact that he wrote and directed this shit, I mean, it looks absolutely fucking hilarious. When's the last time A24 did a comedy?
I don't know. I saw this preview before The Front Room, which I'll review next up. And I was just like, I was laughing the whole time because I remember seeing the poster and hearing about it. I was like, oh, cool. Kyle Mooney made a movie. A24 is going to put it out. And I was like, I completely kept forgetting about the trailer. And then I finally fucking watch it before this movie. And I was just sitting there laughing. I'm the only one laughing in the theater too. Like I'm fucking dying, clutching myself, rolling. And everybody's looking at me like, you laughing over this shit? I'm like, nigga, this shit looks funny.
Yeah, it looks like this decade's This Is the End, which is still one of my favorite movies the last couple of years, or at least comedies the last couple of years. But yeah, and I don't know if you peeped Fred Durst in there.
I did not.
Yeah, Fred Durst in there. So I'm really hoping he dies. Like he's got to die. He's got to die. Like that's going to be a running joke throughout the whole fucking thing.
For those of you listening, the reason why Fred Durst is in this movie is because Y2K, like 1990, from 97 to I want to say about 2001, 2002, like Limp Bizkit had like the music game in a chokehold. Like it is insane. Like you go back, you listen to your albums to those albums, excuse me, and you'll look at me and Jeff and be like, "Yo, this shit," and we'll be like, "Yeah, we're right there with you," and we don't understand it either. Those motherfuckers had the whole fucking music industry in a chokehold. It was insane.
So, like, funny story. I was going to be in the Nookie.
Yeah, you said this story
video
before on the show because you were in NYU and you were gonna go. You dodged a bullet.
Yeah. No, I mean, I didn't get my free red hat, but
red hats are forever
tainted.
Yeah, because now before it was Limp Bizkit and now it's Trump, and it's just like now like you just got probably like and you know what, I could see like a rich tech bro who votes for Trump like riding around listening to Nookie.
Of course, or break stuff because it's not fucking all that obvious. Isn't that what fucking Zuckerberg's shit was all about? Like move fast and break shit.
Bro, I'm gonna be real with you. I find myself fucking every once in a while though, just going, keep rolling,
yeah.
Keep rolling.
Yeah, but like, and I'm mad at myself for some of those shits was bangers though. Like
the only Limp Bizkit song I fuck with was the song they did with Method Man. That's it. That's it. Otherwise, like, I can't say I fuck with Limp Bizkit.
Well, if you listen to Limp Bizkit before that Nookie album, like when they were indie, and I hate to sound like that dude,
because their first hit was the George Michael cover of Faith. Which is insane to think that a cover of Faith is what broke Limp Bizkit.
But that fucking Lemonade and Brownie, like that first album, it was like, all right, I fuck with this. They were trying to be hip hop.
Lemonade and Brownies, so they came out the gate, let you know what time it was, like Lemonade and Brownies, and then one of their albums is like Hot Dog Water and the chocolate flavored starfish, some shit like that.
Oh, I forgot about.
Where there's two versions of Roland. One's like a rock version, one's a hip hop version, and one of them is like the urban assault vehicle mix. And I'm like, the fuck does that even mean? Urban assault vehicle? That's just the Batmobile, bro. Like urban assault vehicle. I'm like, the fuck does that mean?
We repurposed the either you die the hero or you live long enough to become the villain. It's like you either die as Limp Bizkit or live long enough to become Kid Rock.
Oh, yo, he had the game on a chokehold too. Off some dumb shit. My name is Kid. For 2 fucking minutes.
Yo, but like Power with the Bar though, that's
Bro,
a
what the
hot
fuck does
beat
that
though.
mean?
That doesn't matter what it means, man. Up jump the boogie, right? Like,
Yo, we let a bunch of trailer park motherfuckers run rap rock for a minute, huh?
and like he's not even like Kid Rock's not even trailer though. Like he's rich. He was born rich.
Oh, so he's just an idiot.
Yeah, man. His dad, like whenever I make the joke, my dad owns a dealership. That's fucking Kid Rock. His dad owned like one of the biggest Cadillac dealerships in Michigan.
Oh, so yeah, he's just an idiot.
Yeah,
Who's just
yeah.
so he's just an idiot with a bigger, dumber following.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
And like,
all right.
like I said, you live long enough to become Kid Rock.
Bro, I'll never forget being in fucking when I was living in Harlem. I went to my boy's place after class, and like we all, because it was a film class, so it was like only 30 of us, so like we're all tight knit and shit. We all went back to his apartment to drink and smoke and shit. Bro, he put it on WrestleMania or one of them fucking, Monday Night Raw, whatever it was.
Right.
Yo, they had this nigga Kid Rock performing, and me and this dude Jarrett, who was half black, half white, and this motherfucker would come in, like we could not go anywhere without him being stoned. Like, bro, we would be in the editing suite, and he would push up the window and hang out the window to smoke one of the biggest blunts ever as we're sitting there trying to work. Like that he's that. Also, he would have multiple fucking Sharpies on him because he would tag everywhere.
Oh, okay. So that's that kind of
also
motherfucker, right?
always had a video camera on him. Always filming shit. And like I remember during the editing bay, he showed us like all these sex tapes he had on these videos. But anyways, moving back to that the WrestleMania where we're just chilling. Like me and Jared, we stop for a second and we look at the TV and Kid Rock's performing and he just goes, "I'm a rock and roll Jesus," while he's flanked by two black women in afros wearing a fur coat, and me and Jarrett looked at each other and we could not stop laughing. We were just like, yo, how is this on TV? Like nowadays, bro, if that happened, somebody would have descended from the rafters with a sniper and just blew his fucking head off.
Like if you made your career in the late 90s, early 2000s, right now you are like uncancelable. Right, because honestly, like all the shenanigans Kid Rock went through, and fucking Limp Bizkit started a riot.
Yeah, you cannot blame that on them, bro. That was brewing.
Yeah.
You cannot blame that on them. They were just there doing their thing, like that.
Yeah, but
I watched both documentaries, and I was just like, yo, that is on the crowd, 100%.
But they told that motherfuckers like maybe don't fucking do the riot song, don't do break stuff.
The only people they told them like, hey guys, can you calm the audience down was fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers. And instead of calming them down, they just went out and did a cover of Jimi Hendrix's Fire, which led to them burning that festival down.
We've talked about this.
Yo, that is some fucking horrible shit.
We've talked about those Woodstock 99 documentaries, but just in case, if you get a chance, watch those documentaries on Woodstock 99. That shit is fucking insane.
Hey guys, can you please calm them down? Step on into my fire. Step as you got motherfuckers doing Lord of the Flies, dancing around bonfires as big as my house.
That motherfucker's still going through therapy. Trying to get over the PTSD of that shit.
Oh my God, bro. Yo, I just remember I can't remember which one it was, but the people who were working the festivals, they're like, yeah, we turned our shirts inside out. And once we saw them, and once we saw them coming towards us with big fire behind them, thousands of people with fire coming close to us, we all ran. We all got the fuck out of there. Like there's footage of people working in security with them, literally running into darkness. I'm not getting my ass beat for $10
$10 an hour.
Fucking MTV leaves halfway through the day. You see them like booking it in their news van trying, and you see that shit trying not to tip over because they're going so fast. Like,
yo, watch. Like, I need to go back and watch those Woodstock '99 fucking documentaries again. I love when a music festival goes horribly fucking wrong, because all y'all motherfuckers should have known better. The people attending and the people putting it on, like the fire festivals. Oh,
that nigga's trying to bring it back too. I'm like, how's he out of jail though? Like, he defrauded like over 1,000 people, and he's out of jail already. Being like, yeah, Fire Festival 2. April 2025. I'm like, bro, wait, how?
Like, fucking Fire Festival 2 is just the fucking Hunger Games. Put these motherfuckers on an island. with an MP3 player. that's your concept.
Hey, if you plan on going to Fire Festival, whether if you buy like a regular ticket or like one of those VIP things, please donate to me. Go to the website 123scam.com, and I want you to donate $2 million in my name. This is a good investment. You'll get a return on your money. I promise you, I will not disappear.
And you can also visit me on onlyscams.com.
We both want our fucking $2 million.
That's onlyscams.com /Nigerian Prince.
I wonder if anybody's ever fell for that. Like, I remember the first... What?
Yeah, people have. People definitely have.
Bro, I remember getting that email, and I was just like, yo, get the fuck out. I remember the first time I got one of those was when I was living in Harlem, and I remember it was like 12 a.m. I opened the email, and I'm like, bro, I wish this was real. I was like, even I knew. I was like, bro, I wish this was real. Like, no way I'm no fucking Nigerian. I was like, get this shit out of here.
Like, they're still doing it, man. I got a WhatsApp message, and I barely use WhatsApp. But WhatsApp fucking message, and they were like, oh, yeah, I just won the British lottery for $30 million. It's just in my account.
Oh, yeah, the lottery one. And he's like, I want to share some with you. And I'm just like, dude. Nobody who wins the lottery is sharing. Like, motherfuckers who win the lottery don't even share with their immediate family, bro. That's why a lot of people, they wear masks now. You know, in states where you have to declare. That's why you see people wearing masks now, because they don't want their family.
Fucking Aunt Brenda, I know that's you, fat ass.
Yo, even there.
You better give me some of that money.
Bro, there was a dude who won the lottery, did not want his wife to know, so he wore a ghost face mask to take the picture. And that motherfucker said he kept it secret from his wife for 10 years, and she didn't find out until after they divorced.
For 10 years? God damn.
Because he was just like, bro, when I won the lottery, I was 30. I wanted to like sit on this money, so like whenever something bad happens, I'll still have this money. And he sat on it. He said, as soon as I got divorced, I fucking traveled the world. He's like, I still got like $1 million or $2 million left. I was like, oh, good for him. He did exactly what I would do. Exactly what I would do.
Dude, I'm faking my death. Like I'm doing some fucking Miami Vice.
You're doing the Tupac shit.
Car exploding shit.
You had the Tupac shit. You start putting out records. I died a real long time ago. Hey, you in the corner, why you smoking that cigarette? I died a real long time ago.
Oh, fuck. All right, so Y2K.
Can't wait to see this fucking shit. Oh yeah, there's one more trailer I'm going to talk about after fucking the next one. We got to talk about Minecraft. Didn't
they send that to us directly?
Yeah,
they sent that shit to us directly. I was like, I'm not clicking on that shit. Nope.
That shit has people mad. And I'm like, bro, look, I'm going to be real with you. It does not look like a good movie, but I'm also like, yeah, this is for kids. And I had this discussion with my brother yesterday, and he's just like, dude, you can't say that because they're putting out movies like Spider-Verse, this Transformers, and you're saying, he's like, you're telling me the Wild Robot's great, right? He's like, yeah. He's like, then stop making that excuse that it's for fucking kids. I was just like, yeah, you're right. But like,
no, but like, you know, it's for money. Like, let's keep it real. It's for kids and it's for money. Like, not everything has to be high art.
That's like, what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, I look at it, I'm just like, yo, listen, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Is it true to the source material is my thing. Because I don't play Minecraft. I like Minecraft. I don't know I've watched Minecraft specials. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like the aesthetic of the shit. And I'm like, bro, it looks like, I guess they should have did it animated, honestly. That's probably what throws people off is like, I'll be real with you, it looks unfinished. Like, they should have like had a better polish for a movie that's not coming out till April. Probably should have held off a little bit and polished up that shit. But like,
I've seen screen captures of that shit. Like, it looked like, look, I'm not watching the trailer. I'm not watching the movie. I'm not mad at it.
Yo, I'm going to the press screening, baby. I cannot wait.
I'm not mad at it because look,
I'm telling security to drag me out. Yo, they got to carry me out.
They wouldn't make a Minecraft movie unless motherfuckers, they knew people were going to come out and see a Minecraft movie. Right. So I can't get mad. Right.
I watched it. I was just like, yo, look, for me, it looks like it's going to be a whatever family film. You know what I mean?
Right.
Can't be worse than Super Mario. That movie fucking sucked. But the only reason why I don't hate it is because it's true to the source material. So it's like,
I mean, yeah.
Otherwise, that movie fucking sucks. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it's got like we've go back and listen to our Super Mario episode, but like, yeah, it's
so that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting like another Super Mario where I walk out and I'm like, well, and I think I would like Minecraft more just because I have no attachment. I had attachment to Super Mario, right? Like I got all the references and everything, like every little detail. I was just like, oh, Jesus Christ, whatever. That's why watching this, I'll just be like, oh, okay, whatever. Like,
I was like, I
have no attachment.
I've never even like loaded Minecraft on anything. It's just, it has no interest to me. But look, fuck, if that's your yum,
actually,
I'm not gonna yuck it.
Yeah, you gotta come to the screening, dog, because I'm gonna need you like babysit me, bro.
Only if we're in like the most finest pristine theater. And
we'll get into that in the main review too. That shit still make me laugh.
3 weeks later, and it's still like this. Fuck the movie.
Oh man,
getting into the movie was much more entertaining.
Yo,
am I the drama?
Oh my god, yo, I hate y'all. Anyway, let's get to our final trailer. Snow White. Bro, this looks like an abortion. I ain't going for fucking. I can't even like put it nicely. Like this looks. And you know what, man? You know what makes it worse is like Rachel Zegler was talking mad shit about the OG Snow White and how this one like. She doesn't rely on a male to save her and all that. And I'm just like, after watching the trailer, I'm like, man, you sound like a white feminist in the worst way possible. You know and you know which ones I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot, like, let's start off with the worst aspect of this shit, which is the dwarves. I'm just like, y'all, why not just get actual dwarves? Like, we have actors who would do this shit.
I like after seeing the dwarves, like I still agree with you, but they don't look. I get it.
They look terrible, bro. Like that, they look. They are CG creations. I was like, bro,
right?
People will like once the dwarf community sees this, I guarantee you they're gonna riot because they're gonna be like, yo, what the fuck? Like y'all are just reinforcing the stereotypes.
Right, like it. It looks like a whole bunch of ugly Sonics, honestly.
Yeah, it looks... this movie was supposed to come out last year, March 2023. Then it got pushed to this year of March, and now it's finally coming out March 2025. And I'm just like, this movie's been in the can. It's been delayed a few times just to give it effects. And I'm like, this is the best y'all got so far?
Yeah, I think Disney needs to stop doing these live action remakes.
Yes.
Like the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Nah, man.
Like what? Like the work you're putting into it. Like the money that they put into doing a live action Snow White, they could have done 3 original animated movies.
Yo, you know what I'm just thinking about? I want to hold a screening for dwarves and then do a Q&A and ask every person who attends how they feel. Yo,
I feel violated. This
bro, you might as well have a fucking a dude come out in blackface at this point. I was like, yo, if that shit happened, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense for what y'all doing in this shit.
Right, like it's
and Gal Gadot's terrible in this fucking trailer, dude. Like terrible.
I mean, let's keep it real. Gal Gadot is terrible, right? Like I've never watched a I'm sorry. I'm not gonna keep this silent anymore. I've never watched a Gal Gadot movie. It's like, oh, that's good. She's a good actress.
Yeah,
that was some good acting.
The only time I've liked her and I thought she was exceptional is the first Wonder Woman. That's it. Otherwise, like the only other thing I liked her in was Justice League, which is weird to say, and then the Fast and Furious movies, and that's just because like she don't really got to do much other than look sexy, drive the car, and shoot people.
Yeah, like she's, and you know, she's not trying to be a real actress, right? So like, I'm not mad at her, but like, don't try to fucking bamboozle me.
Yo, this nigga said
like,
she's not trying to be a real actress.
Look, I'm sorry, yo, it is what it is. Like, what's the last Gal Gadot drama you saw? Never, not never.
Well, I guess Heart of Stone, which I have not seen.
Wasn't that an action movie?
Shit, it was.
Wasn't that like I never saw that shit.
I think the last Gal Gadot movie I saw was fucking Red Notice, and then after that, I was like, yeah, I'm good on all of them.
And Red Notice, it was like they were having all 3 of them were having a competition to see who could act worst.
Yeah, man, that movie fucking sucks on ice. God damn.
Red Notice that's getting a sequel, a $300 million sequel. It is the most successful Netflix movie, which for some reason the movie in which
my God,
the Rock rescues Ryan Reynolds from a Russian prison.
Yo, we still got fucking Red 1 this year.
But look,
the definition of a fake ass movie.
No, the definition of fake ass movie is Monster Jam.
The Rock won people back with fucking him doing the Benny Safdie movie, and it's just surrounded by bullshit. Where I'm just like, well, at least that'll carry you for a little bit.
Right, like just a tiny bit. It's like, I think he did the Softy movie just so John Cena and Dave Bautista, look, I can still act too.
Like the only other movie that The Rock's in where I'm not completely dismissing it is Moana 2. And he ain't even in it. He's just a voice actor. Like, I don't know, man. I'm tired of you, dog. Be honest with you.
Once again, we're going to go back to Jackie Brown. The Rock. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, what happened to your ass, man? You used to be beautiful.
That nigga could kick rocks, bro. Be real with you. Like,
The Rock used to be beautiful.
If The Rock was like, yo, I'm gonna retire and focus on my family, I'd be like, all right, good.
Yeah, good, thank you. Thank you. They need you.
Like, shit. Yeah. Honestly, I'm surprised The Rock's not in this as one of the dwarves.
Give it time. Yeah. They're gonna announce the voice cast.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you feel about the storybook filter that tinges yellow all over this trailer to give it that like fantasy fairy tale look.
How do I feel about it?
It's ugly, but I get it.
Yeah, look, of all the things wrong with this, that is the lowest thing on my list of offenses. And like, what is I want to circle back to Rachel Ziegler talking about like shitting on the OG Snow White,
a movie that still holds up.
Yes,
because it's only an hour and 10 minutes.
Like, yes, everything in the past was problematic, right? To a certain extent, but like, know where like the thing you are appreciate the work that was done to get you where you are, right?
Yes.
So yes, sometimes I'll go back, like, and I talk about this all the time. 80s movies were mad racist, right? Like, I don't like the Blues Brothers, right? But I appreciate the work that was done in it. You know what I'm saying?
Let me say this. I talked about it earlier this episode. Lawrence of Arabia, right? To me, one of my favorite movies, one of the greatest movies ever made. That motherfucker has Alec Guinness in brownface. Like, he is playing a Middle Eastern in that. Like, Obi-Wan is in brownface, bro. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, let me say this. This is why it's weird to me that people get mad about, like, let's say Gone with the Wind. I'm like, bro, that movie is from 3 fucking generations ago where shit was still bad, and it's about Confederate people. So, I mean, like, Scarlett O'Hara and Rhett and all those people are Confederates.
Right. And like, Hattie McDaniel won the Academy Award for it.
It couldn't
right?
go.
She was able, right? She couldn't go, but like, she was able, like, she got paid, right? Like, she made money off that. Like, yeah, and take away all of the bullshit, right? All of the racism and stuff like that. It is a technical achievement.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna hold you. It's a good movie. Like, if you updated it to have some modern sensibilities, yeah, that'd still be probably I'd enjoy it more. But as it is, I'm like, it's still a good movie with all of its problems. Like let's say another example. One of my favorite movies, Buster Keaton's The General, right? Great film. He's playing a Confederate in that. And that's something I gotta reckon with. Like, yo, like, one of my all-time favorite movies is about a Confederate soldier.
Yeah, like, history is racist.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah, like, if we try to like forget everything that was done before, like all the racism and stuff like that, then like like, you're doomed to repeat that shit.
I mean,
right?
One of my film school professors, they showed us Triumph of the Will from beginning to end, and at the end of it, he turned on the lights. Dude was Jewish, by the way.
Right.
Turned on the lights. He's like, all right, how you guys feel? And first person goes, honestly, that shit made Nazis look cool. And somebody else was like, yeah, that looks like it was fun to be a Nazi. And he's like, yeah, exactly. That was the whole point of this movie. He's like, even I, as a Jewish person, like, was like, oh, wow, I kind of want to join. Like, it is what it is, bro. Like, you can't, like, sometimes when something's made well, you're just like, well, shit, man. Like, I mean, people still bite from that movie today too. Like, let's keep it funky. Like,
and you have to like realize that this is why when people are like, I don't watch that. I haven't seen that. I've never heard of that. Right. That's when shit goes awry, because you have to know your history in order to avoid those pratfalls. You have to know Triumph of the Will. You have to know Song of the South. You have to know all of this shit, right? You don't have to like it, but you have to at least Birth of a Nation, shit like that, right? You have to know about this shit. You just can't ignore it.
Right. There's a big difference between Birth of a Nation and then going to the theater now and seeing Matt Walsh's Am I Racist? Like, at this point, you're just being ignorant and stupid.
Yeah. So
big differences.
Anyway. Yeah. So Snow White, It looks like a Disney live action movie. Like, what do you want? Like, it's gonna make money.
I mean, I'm gonna do a review of it because I'll probably go to the press screening because I'm definitely not gonna want to see this
with real people.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna see. I don't want to see this with an audience.
Yeah, man. I want to see this with the critical community, where hopefully it'll turn into another Madame Web. Madame Web.
Madame Web. And here's the thing. This movie's not for me. I am not like.
I'm not even sure who this is for, because even people who do like Disney stuff, even I have a feeling they would see this and be like, "Whoa, it's kind of hard to justify this shit."
Yeah, I honestly don't know any Disney people who go die hard for these live action remakes.
Yeah, listen. The only two I will die on a hill for, and I've said this before, I'll say it again: Jungle Book and Cinderella, and that's it. Those are the only enterprises in this motherfucker that were worth anything.
And that's fine. Yeah. Like I said, I don't fuck with Disney all that hard. I've turned around and I've always appreciated Disney, but I've never loved Disney. But I'm coming around to appreciating their animated work.
Yeah, man.
Except for Wish. Wish was a piece of shit.
Let's keep it funky. Snow White still holds up. I'm sorry, it does. A lot of this shit still holds up. Like all the stuff that they have done live action remakes of, all that stuff holds up in 9 out of 10 times infinitely better than the live action. Like the only one where I'm like, Cinderella, I think the cartoon and the movie are on the same level. But
is that the one with Brandy?
No. Oh. That's the one Kenneth Branagh did. It has Lily James. Came out in 2016, 2015. Okay. Yeah, that one was great. It has Cate Blanchett as the wicked stepmother.
All right.
I think those two are on the same level. The only one that surpasses the original was Jungle Book, because I always thought Jungle Book was and the movie improved upon it and kept the songs, which is wild because it's not a musical. So when they break out in song and dance, it doesn't feel weird. It just feels like a natural extension of that world.
Mm. Yeah. So
plus King Louie's terrifying, that motherfucker. They made him like a giant extinct orangutan. Apparently that was a real species of orangutan.
I haven't seen it, but everybody who's talked about it says it raves about it. That's who directed that?
Jon Favreau.
Yeah,
it was supposed to be his audition tape to do Magic Kingdom, because Magic Kingdom's still in development, even though it's been fucking 15 years.
Just keep it off this.
I think that's just a stupid concept anyway. That's just not at the museum at a certain point.
Yeah, and once again, Wish is a piece of shit.
Jon Favreau didn't do that.
I know, but I'm just saying, they did a Magic Kingdom movie, the animated movie. It was called Wish, and they fucked that up.
Yeah, the only thing I gotta complain about is instead of leading to Magic Kingdom, it led to The Lion King.
Yeah, so.
Movie was cool in IMAX, so I ain't even gonna hold you, because that shit in the full 8-story IMAX was cool, but otherwise, a wasted enterprise all around.
Man, that sounds like Disney's mantra right there, a wasted enterprise.
Oh man! All right, let's get into the main review.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for: the Film Blerds feature film review.
All right, so we got a lot of main reviews today. So what do we want to start with?
Well, let's start with one we already talked about. Let's start with the extended cut of The Fall Guy. I can't tell you what, other than 2 small parts, I can't tell you what else is new. It's 20 minutes longer, and I have no idea what was added into this, which is a problem.
Yeah,
for a movie that's already too long.
I really dug The Fall Guy, and it did not get the love that it deserved.
It sure didn't.
But it's another one of those things where maybe the extended or director's cut isn't fucking necessary. Just like the Justice League movie, right? The Justice League movie went from 2.5 hours to like 32 hours.
No, it went from 2 hours to 4 hours.
Right. Yeah, I was just hyperbole, but like I can tell you that it's different. Like they added more stuff, but I can't tell what that stuff is besides like a few main changes.
Right.
But like,
I could say it looked more polished too, because like, we'll say Josh Whedon's Justice League, it looked like everybody was like floating in front of a green screen. Like DC finally made their version of a Marvel movie with that, and then like, Zack Snyder's Justice League it's a Zack Snyder movie.
Yeah, but like you'll be hard pressed to tell where the additions are. And so yes. So I'm guessing that's the same thing with the Fall Guy. And like I said, I love the Fall Guy. You were right. It was too long to begin with.
It's a great movie, and don't get me wrong. Like I think it would probably been an excellent movie had they gotten it down to 2 hours. So like the fact that you take a fucking movie that's already over 2 hours and add 20 minutes to it, and I'm just like, I have no idea what you put back in.
Right. I mean, like people barely watched the theatrical cut.
Yeah.
Right. So like, did you think they were going to stick around and watch the extended cut on fucking Peacock? Like, I
mean, it's the best thing up on Peacock right now.
No argument there.
I guess I should probably watch the special that Colin Jost and Michael Che did.
Oh, I did see that. It was
it funny?
I don't think Colin Jost is a really good stand-up comedian.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
But like,
just when he pops up in a movie, you're just like, oh, dude, you're not good of an actor.
Yeah, like he's funny, but like his delivery is not there, and he got drunk, so that was cool watching.
Okay.
But he was just like him and Shay were just the host. Some of the comedians were really fucking hilarious. Some of them, just okay. It was fine. If you like comedy, you'll like this, but like it's not something I don't think you're going to return to.
That fucking sucks. Because like I thought the whole thing was going to be them two just riffing.
No, they're just.
That fucking sucks.
Like it is a comedy show where as them as the host and a whole bunch of other stand-ups.
Yeah, I'm good then. I'm real fucking.
I mean,
good.
Shay was on fire, but he's like a stand-up comedian. Colin Jost is a comedic writer.
Well, all right, but yeah, back to fucking Fall Guy. Rewatching this movie again too, the plot makes no fucking sense.
Oh yeah, no.
Like this shit. I was just like, wait. I'm watching. I was like, how does this connect to this? And then how does this connect to this? And like they did too much to get here. And I was just like, yeah, this makes no fucking sense. Still an entertaining movie. Like I'm not even going to take it like from them. This is still a good movie. I'm just like, yo, this gets weighed down by a plot so unnecessarily. And as entertaining as it is all the way through, this movie really soars when Emily and Ryan are together. Because whenever Ryan goes off and does this detective shit, it does hit like a few lulls. It's because the most interesting parts of this movie is if he's not with Emily Blunt, it's best when he's with Winston Duke.
So like I put this in line with like Romancing the Stone or like Jewel of the Nile. If you watch those movies, they don't really make all that much sense, but they're fucking fun, right? Like a fun romantic adventure comedy.
And that's what I give this movie props for, because the action's good. This is the first time David Leitch where I'm like, oh, this is inventive for you, homie. Right. Like some really good sequences in here, really good fights. It's cool that Ryan Gosling and Winston Duke never used weapons.
Yeah.
Like they just use their fists.
Yeah.
While the bad guys are actually shooting at them, they're still like pulling punches.
Yeah, it's a good movie, and if it had gotten some love,
probably would have got a sequel, bro.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's good enough for a sequel. Honestly, it's good enough for a sequel.
Yes, that's why I said like I wish they But it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Yeah. Y'all saw Despicable Me 4 just like I predicted. So, all right, let's move on to our next one. I'm gonna do Afraid, a movie that will not exist. And actually, it doesn't exist anymore because when this hits VOD, this will just disappear into the ether.
A movie I totally forgot about.
Yeah, this was one of the ones where I saw after work because I had some time to kill, and this movie's basically about the fear of being a parent. Like that's the whole fucking movie and its theme. Which cool, but you chose AI to wrap it around and AI going sentient and all this dumb shit. For those of you who've seen it or those of you who plan to see it, I will pay you $5 if you try to tell me how the last 20 minutes makes any kind of fucking sense. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Film Blerd challenge, $5 to figure out the end of Afraid.
Of Afraid? Like somebody's got to tell me how this makes sense.
I didn't watch it, but I saw the trailer. Are there aliens in it? Because it looked like the trailer made it seem like sentient AI, but also like home invasion and aliens.
So the movie opens with, you know who Ricky Lindenholm is?
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah, she and her husband and her daughter are all in their room and they're not really paying attention. And that's how the movie opens, is the daughter gets kidnapped by these people wearing AI masks.
Okay.
And so they come back at the end of the movie. They're gone the whole fucking movie. Not a mention of them ever again until like the last 20 minutes where they pop back up. And I'm just like, wait.
With Ricky Lindholm and her family, or the
Ricky
alien?
Lindholm? Yeah, and her family. Like those are people wearing like AI masks. That's why like it, because AI distorts the face because it's not all there yet. So that's what that was in the trailer. So it's people working for Aya, but I don't understand why she keeps doing this. It makes no fucking sense. Like, I swear to God, I'm just like, wait, nah.
I'm good.
Like, the only reason this went to theaters was because it was written and directed by Chris Weitz, and Chris Weitz has some ammunition under his belt. It stars John Cho and Catherine Waterston, and they're big enough stars where it would feel disrespectful if they just shoved this to VOD. Like, I'm gonna be real with you, I think Night Swim makes more sense than this shit. And that was a movie that was fucking total nonsense.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm saying, man, Blumhouse, sure. I'm like, yo, y'all need some help, baby.
Blumhouse is running for Lionsgate, right? They're trying to get that Lionsgate award.
Yo, because they put out Night Swim, this, Imaginary. I know y'all motherfuckers forgot about that. Damn, I saw all three of those. God damn. Oh
shit, I forgot all about Imaginary.
Yeah, and how they've put out a lot of dog shit this year. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna have to let me hop on Google while I talk and let's see some Blumhouse releases from this year. But yeah, bro, this man. Oh, they did Speak No. Okay, you're gonna talk about a Blumhouse movie. All right. Wow, they're just shitting out movies back to back, huh? Because like, Afraid is only 3 weeks old, and it's not even playing anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like I swear, if I checked my my VOD news service, I bet it's up there already. I bet it's on video on demand already.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did. So their next movie comes out October 3rd called House of Spoils. Never heard of this shit. Starring Ariana DeBose. Oh, direct to Prime.
I think that like because it sounded familiar to me, but like I didn't know where I knew it from. It's like because Amazon Prime keeps on trying to shove this shit down my throat.
And then the next movie they're putting out is one I'm dying to see because I just watched the trailer and I forgot to talk about it in Trailer Talk. Lee Winehouse, Wolfman, because he did Invisible Man, and Invisible Man was hard as fuck. So I'm like very excited to see his Wolfman. You know what I'm saying? That was supposed to star Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, so this year, so let's start from October of last year to now. Okay. They put out a movie called Totally Killer that went straight to Netflix.
I actually fuck with Totally Killer. I talked about that. It was fun.
The Exorcist Believer, Five Nights at Freddy's, Night Swim, Imaginary, Afraid, and Speak No Evil. Like, they are on a run where I'm just like, yo, it's okay to not greenlight one of these fucking movies, bro.
Yeah.
Like, yo, out of all three of them, I would say Afraid's probably the worst. But also, Afraid has me the least mad out of all three because it's only like an hour and 28 minutes. Like, you sit down and like 30 minutes into it, it's like, oh, the credits roll and you're done.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fine. Like, I like Totally Killer. I like Totally Killer a whole bunch because it was on Amazon Prime. I didn't have to do shit. Watch it. Right? And like, it knew what it was. And for like, so imagine like, Totally Killer is Groundhog Day meets Back to the Future with a serial killer.
All right. Well, look, all I'm going to say is Ariana DeBose is having a rough time right now, huh? like, I feel like West Side Gun every time I look at her filmography. Brick after brick, brick after brick, brick after brick, brick after brick.
Oh, man. You didn't have to do her like that.
Oh, man. Blumhouse, Jason, like, stop greenlighting shit, bro. Like, just stop greenlighting everything.
It's like you don't have to out Lionsgate, right?
Yeah,
like,
man.
You used like when a Blumhouse horror movie was announced, I was like, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, let's do this. And now it's like flip a coin.
Like, I get it. You make return on investments because you make these movies so cheap, but now you're not even making any returns on your investments because you're just shitting these out. And they're all movies that look like they fucking were made in a weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about that in my review, but yeah.
This movie is terrible. So let's move into the next pretty bad horror movie that I saw. A24's The Front Room. The trailer is better than this movie. This is written and directed by Max and Sam Eggers. They are related to Robert. Max has worked on fucking Robert's movies in some capacity. So like, my expectations were through the roof just because the trailer was great. Brandy's back doing horror after being away for so long, and it looked crazy. Like, a racist old religious grandma moves into this, right? And it never goes beyond that. You know how a movie has a premise and you're waiting for the premise to really kick in and take off?
Yeah.
It never really does.
Oh. So it's just an hour and a half of this old racist white woman sort of terrorizing Brandy, but not really.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's there's shit that happens in here where I'm just like, y'all just put her in a fucking home. Either put her in a home or hire a caretaker to specifically take care of her.
I mean, isn't it like one of those Brewster's Millions things where they have to keep her in the house in order to get her inheritance or some shit like that?
Yes. Okay. Yes. And
I mean, why don't they just push her down the stairs?
There comes a point too where there's parts of it that are surreal and you're not supposed to know if it's a dream or if she's doing something. And there's parts of the movie where she's praying, but she's speaking in tongues. And there's a Rosemary's Babies part where she invites all these people over and they start like praying on Brandy and playing with the baby. And I'm just like, we never do anything else with that. So it's just weird to include that shit if there's no satanic or supernatural element in it.
So there's no payoff.
No.
There's no payoff to any of this shit. It's just
No.
like, it would be cool if we saw this and they put that in there without any kind of story structure. And
Yes.
all right, cool. That sounds horrible.
The best thing I could say about this movie, besides it being well made, is Brandy fucking kills it. The husband, great actor, never seen him in anything before. And Catherine Hunter, Catherine Hunter's doing some crazy shit in this. Like, when she first comes on screen, she has the black dress on, has a black veil over her face, and 2 large canes where it looks like the way she uses the cane, she looks like a fucking spider, like a demented human spider.
Right.
And it's terrifying. But, after a while, you're just like, it's just a crazy old lady. Like, just fucking slap the shit out of her, guys. Or put her in a home.
They sold this movie the wrong way, and honestly, they didn't sell it at all because I forgot all about this shit.
Yeah, man. They apparently A24 did too. They dropped it in the theaters without much promotion, and nobody liked it. And now this week, its second week, it only has 1 showtime a day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'm glad Heretic is good because I've heard nothing but raves about Heretic, so I'm glad that's good. But this shit, I'm just I'm tired of real quick. I'm tired of seeing the trailer for Smile too. Like, every fucking movie I go see, I see that trailer. I'm tired of seeing that shit.
Oh yeah, I mean, I only need to see it once, but you can't. The studios can't complain about diminishing returns on theatrical releases when the people don't know that the movie's coming out in theaters. Right.
Because there's only, I want to say there was 10 people in the theater when I went to go see it. And there's a black couple that sat next to me, and they made the movie better, honestly.
I mean, we usually do.
And they were the most respectful black people in a movie in a long time. Like, they ain't text. They were only talking when there was some weird shit happening or some weird shit going on. Because this movie has a lot of fucking thrown up bile and scat. Like, It's a lot of gross out shit. And I'm just like, y'all just putting this shit in here just to be gross.
All right. So these eggers maybe fell a little far from the tray.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah,
nepotism, Robert,
baby.
They are not. Robert, they are not.
Sometimes nepotism, backfires.
Listen, I really thought they had something here because, like I said, that trailer was good. Brandy's good, and you see the movie and you're just like, the best part of the movie is in the trailers where fucking she throws her to the ground and she's like, yo, I'm tired of you pronouncing my name wrong. It's Belinda. Belinda. That shit still has me dying in the movie, but the movie fucking sucks. I don't know what to tell you. It'll be on HBO because HBO has all the rights for A24. It'll be on HBO next month for Halloween. You know what I'm saying? Watch it then.
All right.
Yeah. You could pause it, go get a drink, maybe watch it, finish the rest, break it down, be like, I'll watch it a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow.
Take naps. It's a nap movie.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, Jeff, why don't you get into your watch?
So, we were speaking about shitty A24 movies. So, I saw Speak No Evil, the English language remake of the 2022 movie. So, how do I discuss this movie? It's not bad, right? But you saw the entire movie in the trailer, right? Everything's in the trailer. The running thing throughout this whole entire thing that I kept on saying to myself is white people are really, really, really forgiving of other white people, right? Like when the family shows up, when Scoot McNairy and his family show up to James McAvoy's estate, whatever like that, and all this weird shit starts happening. Not weird, but like all this unusual behavior. Any other person Any other like family, but especially minorities, we've been like, nah, I'm good. Let's go.
It's like Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy's like, yo, whenever. That's why we're not in horror movies that much, because we walk in, we're like, oh nope, we can't do with this shit.
Yeah,
turn around and walk out.
Exactly. The first half of the movie, like let's say the first 3/4 of the movie, is honestly it's a character study on family dynamics, like and how and like a divorce and like not so much toxic masculinity, but embracing masculinity. I don't know if there was a subplot where James McAvoy and Scoot McNairy like fuck, but there's like a lot of sexual tension between the two of them, right? And so that's why it's hard talking about this movie, because it could have been really good, right? It could have been really, really fucking interesting. And then we get to the main crux of the story, right? We get to like the last half hour where it turns into like your standard boilerplate thriller, home invasion, blah, 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 blah bullshit. But by then you're so fucking exhausted by James McAvoy's extreme behavior, right? That you're just like, I just want this movie to be done. James McAvoy kills it, but like he's going so over the top with this character.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
All right.
And so you can't really talk about this movie without talking about the original. So I watched the original, and after seeing watching the original, you can see how the family got into the situation, right?
Which one has the better ending? Because I heard there's 2 different endings. Which one has a better ending?
It depends on what you want. Like,
okay, all right.
It depends on who you are as a person.
Gotcha.
Right? And I don't want to spoil either ending for you, but yeah. But the subtlety and the nuance and the beauty of the first one, like of the original, right? Like after seeing the first one, was like, yeah, I can imagine why this family decided to go and hang out with his other family for a weekend, right? Because they're nice, they were simple, they were charming enough, but not like extreme, not like the McAvoy. And so this is a perfect example of how Americans are fucking like hammers. We're fucking blunt force, right? So all the nuance and subtlety that was in the original, we just fucking beat that shit out in the remake. And like, I don't even know why they did a fucking remake of this fucking movie besides putting James McAvoy in it, because a good 60% of the OG is in English, because that's the common language between the two families, right? Because they're both from different countries. So when they meet up together, they're speaking English because that's a common language for them. So 60% of this fucking movie is in English anyway. So why are you fucking remaking it? Like I could get into more of these differences and why why the remake is bad, good, bad. But like I don't have the energy for it.
It sounds like Blumhouse is just the lawn, or they are literally a pet cemetery.
Yeah,
because I mean they're doing this with Halloween, Exorcist, this. I'm pretty sure Night Swim was like an international movie. Yeah, like
yeah.
Sometimes, y'all are just
sometimes that is better.
Yeah, man. Like y'all are just pet cemeterying everything. Like I would not be surprised if they got their hands on Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street.
I mean, didn't they do Friday the 13th?
Oh yeah, there've been remakes of both.
Right, but was that Blumhouse?
Warner's. No, but I would say I wouldn't be surprised if they got the rights to it and just tried to pet cemetery that shit too. Because why not?
Yeah. So I'm not gonna say don't go see the American remake of Speak No Evil, but I'm saying don't go to the theater to see it.
Oh yeah, this is a Peacock joint, bro. Like I'm trying to see this shit on Peacock.
This is like fuck it. Friday night, I broke my leg. I got all this fucking Chinese food. Let's go.
Yeah, man, I'm not fucking. Something comes out this weekend. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. A movie we're gonna talk about in our main review coming up comes out this weekend. I'm gonna go see that shit again in 40x. Like, yeah.
Can we talk? We can talk about that movie, right?
We'll save it because we'll get into next. The Wild Robot.
So the Wild Robot, it had me a little teary at the end. I'm a little sensitive little bitch.
I'm mad, bro.
Why? Why are you
fucking mad? They didn't give us fucking 3D. I'm mad, bro, because they showed the trailer. Like, I saw Transformers twice,
right?
And they showed the trailer for a Wild Robot in 3D, and I was like, what the fuck, man? Goddamn bullshit.
Yeah, I'm sure it hit in 3D, or it's going to hit in 3D.
Yeah, and I gotta use an A-list reservation. See this with a bunch of fucking kids. I don't fucking know.
Just get real high, man. You'll be fine. But The Wild Robot is an excellent animated film, and it once again it shows you, excuse me, that animated films, they can be more than shit just for kids.
Kids entertainment. They could be very much works of art for anybody from all walks of life, no matter what age you are.
Yeah.
You could very much tell watching this movie that there's no studio interference. This is straight like a animator's dream project. Like, they straight up said, like, Chris Sanders, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Chris Sanders.
Chris Sanders straight up said, like, yo, we tried to make a Monet painting. And it's like, I mean, it is unique animation. Like, it reminds me of the watercolors from Spider-Verse, honestly.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Not as extreme, because you could see the paintbrush strokes, because it's that is purposeful to see the paintbrush strokes on these characters and environments. It gives it a picturesque, surreal quality that's very beautiful, honestly.
Yeah. It's a beautiful film, both visually and thematically. I mean, it's all about motherhood. Right?
And being a parent. And
being a parent, yeah.
I'm like, I'm at a certain age where I'm like, I don't know what being a parent is like. But watching this movie, I was like, okay, I get it. I could see how I could fall into the same trap as Roz and become a parent.
Right. It's the story structure was kind of messy to me. I think it could have been more streamlined, but it still works. And then that's my only fucking complaint. And it's not even like a complaint, because I enjoyed the whole entire fucking film.
I don't have the problem that you did. I have that problem with the last movie we're going to talk about, because that movie, less is more. Like, there's shit where I'm like, if y'all stripped this movie down, this would have been amazing.
Right.
However, this, like, I had no problem. It was like, this movie takes its time, and I appreciate that, right? Like, not everything happens right off the bat. Like, it really does take its time and wants you to get to know Roz and then all the animals Roz encounters, because it all pays off. Like, literally everything in this motherfucker is paid off. Like, she builds a stone road, and even that's paid off.
Yeah. And so here's the thing about this movie. Like, in a lot of movies, it was like, when it goes on, it's like, oh, is this the end? I was like, this is not the end. It's going to go on for longer, like Lord of the Rings or whatever like that. You feel kind of drained. Right? In this movie, when it was like, this must be the end of the movie. It was like, oh, no, this is not the end of the movie. We still have a whole bunch more. You kind of feel reinvigorated because you want to stay here. Right?
Because you're just... The one thing I appreciate with the storytelling is that they really... The reason it takes this time is because it's almost like Avatar, where they're immersing you in this world, you getting you acclimated. So when the big emotional beats happen and the third action set pieces happen with the big explosions and shit, you're really invested. And like, yo, I'm not gonna hold you. Like, the explosions in this motherfucker are cool as shit.
Yeah, and because it's beautiful. It's like a beautiful work of art. And we can't talk about this movie without talking about Lupita's performance.
Yeah,
like,
where it starts off as a machine and then gets more and more human as it goes along. It's crazy.
Right. Like it's so fucking subtle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man.
And like they talked about that in the Q&A, how they were going to have like a story beat where they showed the changeover, and I'm glad
they didn't. Yeah. Because that come on.
Right.
You don't have to be obvious with everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like it works so much better this way, because by the end of the movie, I'm like, oh, she's a fucking human.
Yeah.
Right? That's his mother.
Yeah.
Right. It's got me a little teary thinking about this fucking shit. God damn,
man. I hope this is a hit, because like they're putting out two really good anime. Like two, I'm probably gonna end up on my year-end list. Both of these
100%.
movies that we're talking about. They're putting out back to back, and I'm like, guys, like all we had this past summer was Inside Out 2 and Despicable Me 4. Like one of these could have came out during the summer. And like, don't get me wrong, Despicable Me 4, not Despicable Me 4. Inside Out 2, like sucked the energy out of summer so much. Like that was a black hole until the other black hole showed up, which was Deadpool and Wolverine. But like, y'all could have found a way to make money. Like
put it out early or something like that.
Yeah, man, like May or August or even like next month. There's no children's films next month. Like the only other children's film coming out in like for the rest of the year is Thanksgiving is Moana 2.
Right.
And I guess we could count Wicked, right?
I don't know if that like I can't count that as a kid's movie.
All right.
Yeah.
So that, and then Christmas you got Sonic and Lion King. So like, bro, October was wide open. Like one of these two motherfuckers should have came out in October, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. But yeah, The Wild Robot is exceptionally amazing.
Yeah, it looks like they took the animation from Puss in Boots: The Last Wish and did it and went a step further.
Right, because this is a DreamWorks, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yo, listen, Spider-Verse changed the game. Like, let's be real. They changed the game, and they changed the game in a good way where, like, now people are making real movies with animation. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, because, come on, let's be real. Like, Puss in Boots, I remember watching that. I'm like, yo, this is amazing, but this is also, like, very heavily inspired by Spider-Verse.
Right. I mean, it was... but that's Hollywood in general, right? Like they see something successful and they'll glom onto it. Some people will do will take the ball or take the flame and do something great with it. And some people will try. Yeah, and some people will just try to mimic.
Right.
Wild Robot.
I could say that's the one thing I will say is like every animated film that has been inspired by Spider-Verse doesn't try to mimic directly. It's like takes whatever style that they're doing and uses it to their advantage for whatever story they're trying to tell.
Where they push it a little further.
Which is great. So like that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to like shit on anybody. I'm like, yeah, y'all are learning the right lessons from what Phil Lord and Chris Miller are doing with those movies and injecting life. I mean, Chris Sanders said during the Q&A, like we've all moved too far into the CG realm where they're starting to lose the humanness of the shit. And that's why they're like, well, we got to start bringing some of the traditional animation, hand-drawn animation back into CG. And
yeah, there we go.
I'm going to say this before we get into Transformers. We saw some trailers for some computer animated films coming out. And I'm just like, these look like fake ass movies to the point where even kids were like, I heard kids yell out at the end of each of these trailers, Netflix.
Oh, man.
Like Jeff, those movies look like they had a $2 million budget and like they are terrible. I can't even remember what they're called or anything, but like I would be surprised to see those in the multiplex that has like less than 20 screens.
Do better. So, yeah, Wild Robot. If you have kids, go see it. If you don't have kids, go see it. Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic.
I'll do us all solid. I'll do it another review in 3D.
Yeah, because watching it in 2D was beautiful. I can only imagine what they did with the 3D.
So speaking of 3D, let's get into our next movie, Transformers 1. Hands down the best Transformers movie ever made. 3D in this motherfucker is crazy.
Yeah.
Because I saw it twice in 3D.
I won't say that it's the best one. I think the best one is still the 1980s OG animated one.
Damn, you old as fuck.
Yeah, I am. I'm old as fuck. But after that, there's this one, right? Like, this is everything that you wanted out of all of those Michael Bay fucking films, right? It's fun. It's
and all
funny,
you had to do was get rid of the humans.
And like that's a lesson that we've all learned now from watching Transformers 1. Get rid of the fucking people. I want to see giant transforming robots.
Right, and they feel this is the most they felt like actual well-rounded characters and fleshed out like characters. Like, my problem with Transformers, I was like, who builds them? And then, like, in the opening of this, they give you the whole exposition dump of how this shit works, and I was just like, okay, that makes sense to me. I was like, all right, I get it. Like, the planet is a living transformer. Like, a transformer, like, yo, I'm going to sacrifice myself so our
so I can
species
build,
could live on. Like, I was like, all right, cool. I get it now.
Yeah.
That's all they had to do in the previous movies. Because, like, this shit just never made sense to me.
And that's fine. I like that was never a sticking point for me. But like, we literally 5 minutes before the thing started, you brought up that point, and in the first 5 minutes of the movie, they explain it. It's like, there you go.
Thank God. Yeah, thank God, because that shit always bothered me. Bro, this Chris Hemsworth's having a fucking year because like he's really showing his range as an actor because he's doing some great work here.
Furiosa.
Killed it in Furiosa. Yeah, he should be nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Furiosa. But yeah, this is another like notch in his fucking belt to show like he's not just Thor.
Right, and like no one thought Chris Hemsworth was an actor, right? They thought he was a movie star in the making, right? But over the last year, I would say over the last 2 years, he has proven that he's an actual actor, right? And the charm and his natural charm and charisma only helps that fact, but he's actual fucking thespian.
Like, also, Brian Tyree Henry as Megatron, fucking, that is the most powerful arc I've seen. Well, second most powerful arc I've seen all year behind Paul's arc. Where my two favorite arcs this year have been watching the descent of characters who come to power, where you're just like, oh shit, like, this is not good. I'm gonna say this: Megatron's right, baby. Like Megatron's completely right. I just think he took it a step too far because once you pull, I was like, all right, once Sentinel, like, I'm not to spoil shit, but once Sentinel, like, you know, once Sentinel's like dealt with,
right,
it's a wrap, baby. Like he kept going, and I'm just like, nah, bro, like, you were right, but it's a wrap. But this movie's trying to paint a picture of like, yo, fascism is bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, Sentinel's a fascist, and all that is said right when B at the end, where he's just like, Optimus is like, yeah, you're going to be my number 2. And he's just like, awesome, I got a government job. I want to say Keegan-Michael Key as fucking Bumblebee had me rolling. This is the first time I actually liked Bumblebee because he was a real character and make him mute and just talk through dumb shit.
The movie is fun, is funny, and just like the older you get, the more you realize Thanos was right. Like you said, like I understand Megatron, right? Or like Brian Tyree, like when he becomes Megatron, like I get it. All
Yo,
right?
by the way, speaking of, stick around for the post credits because that shit is hard.
Yeah.
Especially in 3D. There's a shot of 3 Decepticons all side by side. And I was like, bro, that is hard. I want that as a poster. Like, yo, imagine if me and you and one other person did those poses, like, people would run down the street from us, bro. We would rule shit.
And the great thing about this, it doesn't explain all of your favorite Transformers, but they're all here, right? And they all sort of get a little origin story. Like Starscream, like, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but when you first see Starscream, it's like, oh shit.
Yo, I want to say this movie plays much better. Like on a rewatch, it moves so much quicker. I mean,
it was live for the first time I saw it, so I can only imagine the second time.
I want to say though, the only complaint really I have, because these character arcs are so welly sketched out. Even though this is familiar, we've all seen this before. Right. When it's done well like this, it really does hit. But I will say, my only complaint, they laid it on a little too thick between Megatron and Optimus at the beginning, where they're like, best buds, boom, yeah. Best buds, boom, best buds.
It's like, you're my bestest friend.
I'm like, yeah, we get it, bro, we get it.
It's like, yeah, we know what's going to happen, and it's not like you haven't seen this story across multiple different mediums,
right? That's why I said it's familiar.
Yeah, but it's the anticipation of when the turn happens that makes it better, right?
And it's so well written just because the antagonist is so well written up into that point, because Megatron is a good guy who turns into an anti-hero who turns into a villain. You know what I mean? And even when he's an anti-hero, you're just like, bro, just pull back a little bit and you'll be all right. You'll be all right.
Do what you got to do, but then go to therapy.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Like this shit, man. This is why you cannot worship people. Because when you worship people, this is what happens. It radicalizes you and it turns you evil.
I got a story. A friend has a story from last week. He was on a shoot, and he said, "Never meet your heroes. Never meet the true version of your heroes." And this is another proof of that.
Yeah, the only person I met in real life who actually surprised me, because I thought he was going to be an asshole, is because I did a Q&A with him, right. And I was just like, oh, well, you are not who you are, who your public persona is, bro.
Right.
You're a lot more friendlier and funnier in real life.
Yeah, well, fucking, it's the brand. Sometimes sometimes you just got to stay on brand.
I get it. Yeah. You got a reputation to uphold. Yeah. Look, you don't become one of the most powerful people in Hollywood by being a teddy bear.
Right. But, you also don't get into these rooms in the first place by being a total asshole.
Right. So, but yeah, Transformers 1, bro, I'm going to see this shit again in 4DX. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I mean, this is to me the second best Transformers movie. It's one of the best movies of the summer in general.
It's the fall now.
Well, I mean, it literally, when this movie comes out, it will be the first day of fall. September 20th is the first day of fall. So yeah.
So it's the fall.
But I saw it in the summer, so to me it's the best movie I saw. One of the best movies I saw this summer.
Yeah, summer for me is over once it hits September 1st. I'm like, oh wait, we're done.
No, I'm trying to push that shit to the real actual on the calendar date.
Hey, look, just be glad that daylight savings time is only going to last three months, or it's either 3 or 4 months this time. So cool. November to early March, and I'm just like, oh, if it's that short, why are we even bothering?
That's a large conversation.
Why bother? By the time we hit February, the sun's gonna start setting at 5:00 again. So I mean, also, that's kind of fucked up that we hit February and the sun's going to start setting at 5. I'm like, damn, we have destroyed this planet, baby.
All right, so anyway,
Transformers 1, yeah.
Go see it. Go see it in 3D. See it in 3D.
3D, hell yeah, see it in 3D. Don't cheat yourself. Don't cheat yourself. You want the full 3D experience with this motherfucker.
Totally worth it.
People were clapping yesterday, Jeff. You should have seen it. Like, they were clapping at the end of this.
Because it's a clappable movie, man. Like, it's fucking... Once they start getting their names and shit like that... watch this shit.
Well, once B gets his transforming powers, bro. Oh man, he's another one where I'm just like, oh yeah, some motherfuckers you just can't give power because then they turn psychotic. Like he just goes.
We're trying not to spoil the movie for you. So like, as soon as this shit drops, go see it because it's.
Yeah, let me just say this: it is a better version of Transformers 3. Like, same exact story. This is just done so much better.
I can't remember Transformers 3. Which one was 3?
That was the one with the Battle of Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it has the same plot and everything.
Yeah.
Only thing that's missing from Transformers 3 that's in this is the Matrix of Leadership. And the Matrix of Leadership was in Transformers 2. And I only remember that because I watched that one recently and I was just like, I regret watching this because I only seen it twice. It was once in IMAX because Michael Bay shot shit in IMAX and it only ended up being 10 minutes.
Right.
And then I watched it again before we did. What was the one? What was the last one? It was Rise of the Beast. I did all of them over and I was my second time seeing it. And I was just like, yeah, I'm never watching this motherfucker again. Like, I think it is. I'm trying to like. That's the thing about the Michael Bay Transformers. It's just like you don't know if 2, 4, or 5, which one's the worst one out of those 3. And I'm honestly leaning towards 4 because 4 is so long, and then they go to fucking China, and it has the Bud Light commercial. And I never thought I would say this, but I greatly prefer Shia LaBeouf in these over Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Even though he was, and I think 4 just because 5 is a worse movie, but he was also better as a leading man in 5 than he was in 4.
See, I'm already.
And it didn't have all that fucking weird sex shit with an underage girl in 5 either.
What's the one where they're knights?
Yeah, that's 5. That's 5.
That's 5? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. He's like a descendant of Merlin, and that's why he has that fucking sword.
Yeah.
Like, that don't make no sense. Homie was Because in the previous movie, he was like an inventor, a mechanic inventor.
I don't know what you want me to say. Like,
Casey, we found a transformer. That's an actual line. That's an actual line from the movie. We found a transformer.
Oh,
yeah, man.
God bless Boston's favorite son. God bless Boston's favorite son.
By the way, this movie is executive produced by Steven Spielberg and produced and released under Bay Films, produced by Michael Bay. Hands down, this is probably the best movie he's ever produced. Like, bar none.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I mean, yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, like
there's no question.
Yeah, I can't.
No question.
Like, I'm not gonna say my favorite Bay film, but one of his, like, the best that he's produced. Yeah. All right, well, here we go.
Transformers 1. Yo, make this a hit so we can get Transformers 2.
Right, I hope they keep that naming convention.
Me too.
Like, yeah,
so that way Transformers 3. Like, let's get into the naming convention of our next and final film. Beetlejuice. Y'all fucked up. Now this movie made more money than I expected it to. It's currently at $188 million just domestically. So now they got to do Beetlejuice.
And so my biggest problem with this movie is that it is actually 3 really good movies that they smashed into fucking one. Right?
Yes.
So, like, if they had just, like, for Beetlejuice, they should have just made it the storyline with fucking Jenna Ortega and the boyfriend, right? And then in Beetlejuice, it's the story of them going to the underworld to rescue her. That's your trilogy.
I will say Here's the thing. I like the storyline with the boyfriend, right? I think that's a good storyline.
Yeah, it is.
Problem is, they did that in the first season of American Horror Story.
Oh, did they? Yeah.
Where they move into the house and Tassia Farmiga falls in love with Evan Peters. Evan Peters is a fucking ghost.
Oh, all right. Well, see, I never saw that season of American Horror Story. Yeah. The ghost can you can have sex with ghosts in that show, which is wild because those ghosts do some foul shit. Anyways. And this, I'm just like, this could have been such a great movie if you had just stripped it down. Because, like, take for instance Beetlejuice, the first movie. I'll tell you the plot of Beetlejuice 1 right now. The Maitlands die. They want to protect their house from this new family that moves in named the Dietz. And they start doing all this gaudy postmodernistic shit to the house. So what do? They seek out the help of Beetlejuice, and it goes terribly wrong. Right. Boom.
I cannot tell you that simply the plot of Beetlejuice. Like, it's impossible because it has too much going on. You've got, like, Beetlejuice's wife. Listen, I love Monica Bellucci. She's beautiful. I can't even fault Tim Burton for putting her in here because, like, you know, they're dating. Like, let's be real. He's slanging that dick around. That's why she's in this movie. Like,
but she does not deserve a whole entire storyline.
No, it's the same thing with Helena Bonham Carter when she kept putting in his movies back then, and then right before Monica Bellucci, it was Ava Green. Ava Green was in the last 3 Tim Burton movies.
Yeah. I mean, so, like, if you date Tim Burton, you're guaranteed a job.
My man has a type, huh? Like, big-breasted goth girl. But don't we all, Tim? We all? I mean, we all love that?
I mean, he made that brand popular.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Beetlejuice seemed
I'll
like
have the white meat.
Beetlejuice seemed like it was made to keep Hot Topic afloat. Right?
Like, I'm not mad at this movie, right? It's entertaining, but I can't say it's good. Like, I saw it twice, and even the second time, I was just like, oh yeah, because I only saw it like a week apart, Jeff.
Right. Mm.
And even watching it the second time, I was like, oh yeah, this shit did happen. And there's shit that happens in here that goes on for too long. Like when Monica Bellucci puts herself back together, that sequence is too long.
Right.
The Bee Gees song is so loud. I didn't even know Danny DeVito was in this. He didn't even need to be in this.
Yeah, like it's absolutely fucking fine.
There's no payoff to some of this shit. Like, there's no payoff to Monica Bellucci at all. Like, she staples herself back together to get revenge on Beetlejuice because he chopped her up because she poisoned him because they were married. And I was just like, the backstory for that, where Beetlejuice starts speaking Italian, funny, but also I don't know why you would give us a Beetlejuice origin story, because who cares?
Like I said, it is like several really good movies smashed into one, and none of them really fucking work. And here's the thing, the first Beetlejuice was weird all the way through.
Yes.
Right.
In addition to it being fucking streamlined and simple, where everything fucking fed into each other.
Yeah, but this is like, it almost seems like they were on a schedule. It's like, all right, now it's time to be weird, right? And the rest of it felt like a fucking drama. It felt like a Jenna Ortega starring vehicle.
It felt like to me, it felt like a mini series that they edited down into a movie.
Yeah. And like, I explained it to a friend of mine, is like, don't go in expecting a sequel to Beetlejuice. Go in expecting they did a live action version of the cartoon.
What's disappointing to me is, on a rewatch, Lydia's storyline is very interesting, right? She sold out because she can see ghosts. That's how she makes her money. That's the only thing she's good at, right? You could have put that in there. And she has a pill addiction. And then the pill addiction's just dropped and never brought up again after the beginning of the movie. And I'm just like, bro, that's something really interesting that y'all had here, that she developed a pill addiction and you don't take it anywhere. And Justin Theroux's character, honestly, cut him out. He's not needed. And I think Lydia being haunted by her ex-husband's death and having a pill addiction and just being a jaded adult who never grew up and is failing her daughter is more interesting than her being a weak, pill-addicted reality show host who's just in it with this relationship with this huckster. And I'm just like, here's the reason why I don't think that works, is just because Lydia was so strong-willed and powerful in the first movie, and now all of a sudden she's meek and timid here. And I was like, I would, if y'all had played up the pills more that are making her docile or something, right, I could have believed that. And like, again, there's something there and y'all don't even fully deliver on it. And that's my problem with this movie, is like the first movie, everybody's a well-rounded character, has history. Even the big guy, I forget what, Ortho?
Ortho, yeah.
Yeah, Ortho. Even he felt like a real character. And nobody feels like a real character in this. They feel like sketches that they didn't fully flesh out.
Yeah, it feels like they needed to put people on the poster, right? We want to put 8 people on this movie poster right behind Beetlejuice. Right. So you're a character now.
Because we still haven't even talked about William Dafoe yet. Like he's another one where I'm like, you could have cut. He's having the time of his life, and I was having fun with him. But like, bro, you could cut that out too. It adds nothing. Like him and his character add nothing. Like 3 characters who appear above title could be cut out, which is not good.
Yeah, 100%.
Like the conflict of the movie is, like you said, Jenna Ortega falls in love with this boy. She gets kidnapped into the underworld. Lydia and
what's the mother?
Yeah, the mother. Yeah. Lydia and the stepmom, they're just like, all right, let's go get her back. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. And that's your movie, is them 3 trying to rescue Astrid from the afterlife.
Right. And Lydia getting back to who she was in the underworld.
Right.
Her like working on her relationship with her stepmother, and then also working on her her developing a relationship with her daughter, all in the underworld while fucking running from Beetlejuice or doing whatever. That's your fucking movie.
Right. And honestly, instead of making oh my God, I can't remember what her name is. Catherine O'Hara's character. Right. I'm gonna Google it real quick. But instead of having her like be so sad that Jeffrey Jones died, Mr. Dietz died, I think she could have easily just had her art galleries just be successful, and she's been so successful that she's just bored. So when Astrid gets taken, she's like, oh, an adventure, something, and she goes along for the ride. That's just my personal take.
Yeah, no, that's great. There is, like I said, there's 3 movies put together, but there is a really good movie in here somewhere, like a valid sequel to
Beetlejuice.
To Beetlejuice in here. It just seemed like everybody got like it felt like the writers got bored. And the studio was like, we need more Jenna Ortega.
Delia.
And Delia. We need more Jenna Ortega, and we need more just random bullshit.
Yeah, the script by Miles Millar and Alfred Goff is terrible. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. That's like my biggest beef with this movie is their script. Like, I don't even know why Beetlejuice is working. Why he's an office worker now makes no fucking sense. And a throwaway joke at the end of the first movie is now a running gag throughout this entire thing with the shrunken head people,
with the Bobs,
and one of them is named Bob. And I'm just like, what are we, guys, seriously? But I will say the one thing I do like about this is, besides Catherine O'Hara, she's like the MVP in this, is And Winona Ryder, you could see she cares, and fucking Michael Keaton is Beetlejuice. The other thing I could say that I loved is that it feels like Tim Burton is alive again. Like, you could feel the energy in this versus his Disney stuff that he's been doing, where it's just like, that's Disney, dude. Like, you got the life sucked out of you, and now it took this to wake you up again.
Yeah, he seems alive but old, right? Like that's what he like. Because Scorsese, like I use Scorsese as a perfect example of Wolf of Wall Street, right? Like, he was alive, but he was also like, he directed that like a younger man, right? Tim Burton seems alive. This was more interesting than most of the stuff he's done in the last 10 years, except for Wednesday, right?
And Frankenweenie, because I fuck with that movie hard.
But like, Frankenweenie was like a million years ago.
No, Frankenweenie came out like 2018,
they did a
stop motion movie
of the short? Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I saw it in IMAX 3D. It was dope.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Well, all right then, Frankenweenie. I gotta go see that. But it felt like he was old. He didn't have the energy to keep it up. And I think that's, honestly, if he had that young man fight in him, he would have cut a lot of this bullshit.
I do feel I will give Tim Burton this, and the studio this, is like, I appreciate that like 90% of this was practical and not CG.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like you don't know how refreshing it was to watch a big budget movie, especially a legacy sequel like this, and they put the emphasis on practical.
100%. And like, I liked how they handled the Jeffrey Jones situation.
Yes, that was hilarious. This is the best part of the movie. That's where I was like, oh, Tim Burton is awake.
Right. So like, and that's why I can't say I don't like this movie. It is an absolutely fine movie. Right. Because when it hits, it really, really fucking hits.
Yes.
But those are few and far between.
Yes. Because it's just so much bullshit in here. Like, the thing I love the most, and I found the most like arresting, where I'm like, holy shit, this is crazy, and I would love to live in the house if it was like that, is when Delia puts the black shroud over the house. That is such a visually arresting image, and it looks so fucking cool. I was like, holy shit.
Right, that's some shit that like you would see in the first movie, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy, and that's practical too. Like, they put a fucking shroud over a house.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It looks awesome too. Like, it's so cool.
And like, all right, so here's another thing, right? So we open the movie with a tracking shot through the town, right? But the town isn't a character, right? So like,
and then it eventually cuts to the model of the town.
Right, but like, it's yes, it's a callback to the first one, but like in the first one, that made sense.
Because that's where the entire movie took place, was that house and that town. Whereas this one, we're in New York, we're in Connecticut, we're in other places before we go back.
Right. It just seemed like, okay, you just wanted to spend 5 minutes with this tracking shot through this town, when that 5 minutes could have been used, that title sequence could have been used for exposition or something different, something interesting.
Yeah. Also didn't like that Monica Buccelli's character, like her stapling herself back together and shit. It just reminded me of a lesser version of Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. I was like,
well, fucking hot. Like I'm telling you, man, keeping Hot Topic afloat.
Yeah, man. I was excited for this. Like, I'm not even gonna fucking hold you. Like, I was hyped, and I'm gonna be real, I was disappointed. I'm not mad. I just like, let's get it twisted. I'm not mad. I don't hate this movie. It's just fine. Like, I expected more.
Right, because and I bought into the hype. I really did, and I bought into my own nostalgia, because it's like, okay, it's Tim Burton going back to like, it was, after 30 fucking years, right? He's been avoiding doing this movie. They must have hooked him with a concept that was so interesting and inventive that he had to come back for it. And that wasn't the case.
Right. Because watching this here, like in addition to stuff that could have been cut, like I feel like this could have been shorter because there's stuff that goes on for too long, like the Soul Train sequence. They cut back to that like 3 times. I'm like, dude, it was funny the first time and that's it. And somebody even asked him like, why was that in there? He's like, oh, I used to watch Soul Train all the time as a kid. And I'm just like, I feel like you lying, Tim Burton.
Yeah, no, like
also the whole sequence with at the end with MacArthur Park during the wedding between Beetlejuice and Lydia. It was funny. But damn, that shit lasts like a whole 5 minutes, bro.
Like they actually go through all of MacArthur Park. Like they go through the entire fucking song.
Yeah, I was just like, guys, no, this went on for too long. It's funny for the first minute, and they do the whole thing. And they do so they do the original MacArthur Park, and they do the Donna Summers version of MacArthur Park.
And so this movie is utterly forgettable because like we saw this 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and I had to see it again. I had to see it a second time.
Right. Someone came up to me and was like, "Oh yeah, tell me about Beetlejuice," and I was like, "What do you? I don't know how it ends. Like I can't remember how it ends. Like I can't remember
the ending is also what kind of blew it for me. Like the end. Like I'm just gonna say it. Like the movie ends basically with Beetlejuice will forever haunt Lydia, and I'm just like that's lame. That's real lame.
I can't I know there was another sandworm attack, just like the first movie.
Yeah. And now Tim Burton straight up stole from Dune, where you see the sand start vibrating and moving.
Right.
Like, looks almost exactly from what Denis did in these 2 movies.
Yeah.
I was like, Tim, you didn't need to do that, dude. Like.
Yeah, the movie's it's Beetlejuice. It's fine. I wouldn't go see it. Like it's out of theaters probably by the time this hits, or maybe you have a week.
No. It's still listen. We're recording this. It's second weekend. Second weekend. It's still made $55 million. All
right. So, but I wouldn't rush to go see this in the theater if you didn't have to. Right? Like if you really want to go see this in the movie theater, fine, God bless you. But you're not missing anything.
Yeah. You can watch it on HBO Max and be perfectly fine. Like the first Beetlejuice, I was excited to see that in the theater. Seeing that in the theater was like a treat.
Right.
And this one, I was just like, yeah, it's fine. Like, even the first Beetlejuice still scares me because of the snake. And there's nothing really scary in this motherfucker.
Well, I mean, there's snakes in this one, like the asps.
But not like the Beetlejuice snake where he starts scaring the Dietzes when he turns into a snake. That shit still freaks me out, man.
Yeah. Like this is they tried to turn Beetlejuice into a franchise, and that was the problem because this was like the movie, the OG movie could have just ended right there and been perfectly all right. They tried to turn into a franchise.
Doesn't help that there was a video game. Doesn't help that there was a 4-season cartoon where he's basically Lydia's best friend, and that's what most people know is him as. And that's what I knew for the longest time because I didn't see Beetlejuice till like the movie till I was like a freshman in high school.
Oh wow!
Because I remember Beetlejuice being, Lydia's best friend. They go on these misadventures and do all this wacky dumb shit, and then you watch the movie, you're like,
stalker.
Yeah, like he's the villain of the movie. Like he is the bad guy,
right?
Because that movie's not for kids. Like I understand why like I wasn't allowed to see the movie because that movie's not for fucking kids. And this one, it's like. Yeah, they tried to make it for everybody. So it's you could take your kids to see this and they'd be honestly A-okay because there's nothing scary in this.
Do they even drop the F-bomb in this?
No. They say fucking the
first one, the OG.
First one, but in this one, they bleep it. Because Beetlejuice does say fuck, but they bleep it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah. They're again, there's a much better movie here than what we got. Like that's the problem. Like,
but that movie's there, right? You can see that movie.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, man.
Like, it's right there on screen. Like you see it.
Yeah, and it's like, and that's why I say I don't hate it because it is entertaining and there's parts I love. Like I just said, like you could cut out William Dafoe out of this movie, but then again, William Dafoe is one of the best parts of this movie. And that's not good that one of the best parts of the movie you can completely exercise. Like Justin Theroux for me, love him as a actor. Don't really like him as a writer, but here, even as an actor, I'm just like, we could cut you out, dude, because like everybody thinks he's funny, and I'm like, this dude's not funny. Like, I don't think the character's funny, and it's not Justin Theroux, it's the character.
Yeah, he's there.
Yes.
Like a lot of these characters are just filling up space.
Yes, and it's a shame. It's a shame because, like, again, like we said, like Jeff, had this been like 15, 20 minutes shorter, like if you give this movie to us, we could easily make this like a home run. It won't be as good as the original, but it'll be a worthy sequel.
Right. It'll be good. It'll be good.
Yeah, man. Like giving Beetlejuice a job and a backstory, don't need any of that shit.
Yeah, but I like the flashback when it's all Italian. That was weird,
right? Because it was funny. It was funny, yeah. But it's the context of it,
right?
Because there's no pay. Here's the thing: there's no payoff to either Justin Theroux's character or Monica Bellucci's character. Like there's no big dramatic moment. I mean, there's payoff for Justin Theroux's character, but not really any for Monica Bellucci. Like when she shows up again, they're just like, "Oh yeah, we gotta resolve this shit that we've sprinkled throughout the movie for no reason." And they don't even tell you why she sucks souls.
We don't know what the cult's about.
Yeah, man. Like this movie brings shit up and then immediately drops it. Like, yo, let's just say it. The boyfriend immediately taken care of. Immediately. Like I was like watching it the second time, I was like, God damn, that's how quickly they resolved that? That's it?
Yeah. That should have been the whole entire fucking movie.
Like that shit is wild, man. Right. I was just like, oh. It is what it is, right? It is what it is.
So it made its money. Tim Burton said he's doubtful he's coming back for a Beetlejuice, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, all right, yeah, nigga. All right. Look, time's running out, and y'all are making money, and y'all had fun making this.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get before the end of the year an announcement that like, all right, we're coming back for Beetlejuice. We got to close it out.
Yeah, exactly. Cash out and then just do whatever the fuck you want. Like you got your cachet back. Like you even said you feel like you're at the end of your career. Like fucking.
So like go out on top, man. Like Tim Burton, man. Fucking. Man, just do you, man? Yeah, man. Like you said, you regret not doing another Pee-wee movie. Just do one more. This one. Like. Yeah, just like one more. Make it your magnum opus. Go out on top. That is episode 132. Peace. We're the Film Blerds. I'm Brandon Norwood, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist. I'm the protagonist. I'm Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. He Who Remains. Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies. You've been listening to the Film Blerds podcast. Man, I just love what you guys do, man. I never miss an episode. It's the best. It's my favorite podcast. Follow Jeff on IG on MindFireXL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.